Hey everybody, it's Friday at last.
Yeah.
Here we are again doing the Sidetracks show. Tom's got some light on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna run it with a light now.
Okay.
Tired of being in the background in the darkness. She ain't been hiding me in the dark.
I wasn't hiding you in the darkness. You didn't seem that dark to me, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's hard to tell because, how I see things on my screen right here is maybe different to how it goes out. I'm not really sure. There. Okay, well that's good. That's good.
Yeah. American Military 100 is already making comments about he saw Fast Times at Ridgemont High because of our review. He liked the review. And then he watched it say, you said what you said right there? He said he saw a whole bunch of people he recognized.
Yeah, so that dork from The Burning was in it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And that even dorkier wheelchair-bound wizard kid from Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was in it. Pretty sure, and I don't remember if I mentioned this on the review, but I'm pretty sure the woman that played Judge Reinhold's girlfriend that he was thinking about breaking up with, I think she played Tina in the first Nightmare on Elm Street. I can't remember what's her name? What's that actress name? Amanda Weiss, or I think Weiss is her last name. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was her. Like, she has a pretty distinctive looking face. But yeah, there were so many people in that went on to.
You didn't know it at the time watching it. It was just another
Well, no,
movie.
of course not. It's just like you only know in hindsight because, they were all just young actors back then, like kind of just starting out. Yeah.
Nicolas Cage didn't even say didn't even say a word.
And he's credited as Nicholas Coppola.
Yeah.
Which is funny. I saw a movie. What movie was it? It was one that I reviewed, like on my other, like on my Flickers of Fear series, and it was an older movie, and Talia Shire was in it, but she was also credited as Talia Coppola. Like she played like a secretary in an office or something like that. I think she had like one line, but I recognized her immediately. I was like, hey, that's Talia Shire. I can't remember what movie it was. It was one that I reviewed like last year or something like that, I think. Speaking of which, if you subscribe to my Scare Salon channel, I just put up a video today where I'm doing a series on there where I'm counting down like my top 5 favorite horror movies from every year since I was born. And I'm on 1986, so I was only 14 then. So obviously I have a really long way to go because they take a long time to do. So I put the 1986 one up today, and it's like it ended up being like an hour long. So so if you want to watch that, and I also recorded 2 new reviews today. I did Hokum, and I did a movie from the early 70s called The Pix with Karen Black, and so I'll be putting those up. I'll probably put Hokum up on Sunday, and then I might put The Pix up next week sometime. I got to do another night gallery for my Scare Salon channel too, but that'll probably be another week or 2 before I put that up. I'm trying to get ahead, you know what I mean? So like I get all this stuff like written down, like what I'm gonna do, but they take a long time to record and edit, obviously. CB says I made it back in time from the bar for the start of the show. Yeah, that's good because it started pretty late where you are. Kevin Smith, hello, Tom, Jenny, and Chad. If you can see this, yes, of course we can see you. Why wouldn't we be able to see you? CB says I've been at the fetish bar all day, solo because my girlfriend had to work because one of her coworkers is sick. Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Count Orlock says yes. Amanda Weiss played Tina in Nightmare on Elm Street. She was also John Cusack's ex in Better Off Dead. That's right. I forgot all about that. How could I never have made that connection? Because I've seen Better Off Dead about 40,000 times.
Yeah.
And I just never put it together that was the same girl, even though I recognized her immediately in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but for some reason it just never clicked that was her in Better Off Dead. Man, did we ever review Better Off Dead? Have you seen it?
I know the name.
I think it's from 85. Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah,
it's so funny. It's so funny.
I don't remember anything about it. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's super funny. I don't remember if we ever reviewed it though. We should go like on an 80s movie kick and do some 80s movies we haven't done, because I think we did some John Hughes ones and shit, but
yeah.
But I don't know. I still want to do Valley Girl at some point. Although I haven't seen that in a long time. I remember really liking Valley Girl, but it's like it might be cringe now. I'm not sure. We could do Last American Virgin. We could do Better Off Dead if we haven't done it. I'm going to have to go back and look. I thought we'd done it, but maybe not. Maybe not. Let me see. Count Orlock says, Jenny, I just got the new Blu-ray release of Cradle of Fear. Check that one out. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Last night I was kind of in a 70s horror kind of mood, and I was scrolling through Tubi, which has fucking everything, man. They have everything.
Yeah.
And And they had the Evil on there, and I was like, oh man, I haven't seen that in a while. I mean, we've seen it a few times. I think we even had that on Blu-ray, don't?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we own that.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm kind of in the mood for that. I haven't seen it in a while. So I sat it down and watched it, and then after it was over, I was looking for something else that I hadn't seen, and that's how I ended up watching that Karen Black movie, because I had for real never seen that one.
The Karen Black movie was pretty good.
It was a weird ass flick. I'd heard of it, but I'd never seen it before.
She wrote some of the songs in it.
Yeah, like I said, I recorded a review of it, so I'll put it up like next week sometime.
It's like gothic folk, kind of like Switchblade Symphony.
Yeah, I didn't know she could sing. Or
Strawberry Switchblade.
It was pretty.
Yeah, kind of like what's her name?
Pretty weird.
What's that chick's name? Fucking one from Strawberry Switchblade.
Who, Rose McDowell?
Rose McDowell, yeah. She sounds like Rose McDowell a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Counterlight was also talking about how good that cover from Hellstrom of fucking Judas Priest Distant Aggressor is. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was just listening to that before I started the show. I listened to that, and I listened to that Raw Deal cover you showed me. That shit was fucking badass. That's a really good Raw Deal cover. I didn't know anybody covered it. That's actually the best recording I've heard of that song. With modern recording equipment, that's pretty good. I'm gonna put that on the playlist in the car.
Oh yeah, just remind me and I'll put it on the Spotify.
Yeah, I had it saved. I forgot the name of that band.
Just don't let me forget. Counterluck also says your 1986 show was great. Wow, you watched it already. Thank you very much. Like I said, that took me. Those ones always take me. I like doing those, but it's like wow, they take like a really long time to do because it's like doing 5 movie reviews in one. Because you're I don't go as long as maybe I would if I was talking about a single movie just on one video, but and a lot of times like they're kind of classic movies that a lot of people have seen, so I try not to get too complicated with it, but you know what I mean. You know how I get. I kind of get all carried away when I'm talking about movies I like. So there's that, but I hope people enjoy them. I've been thinking about, I don't know if I'll do this, but it's, because I have the 2 other channels. I have Scare Salon and Crime Immemorial, which I haven't posted on in a long time. I still post on the blog every day, but I haven't done videos on there in a long time. And so I'm trying to think, it's like maybe because neither of those channels are monetized anymore, I kind of feel like maybe I should transfer all those videos over to the 13 o'clock channel. Because at least 13 o'clock is monetized, so at least maybe I could get some extra money out of them.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure. I don't think there's any way. Like, if you have one account, because you can have, like, I don't know what the limit is, but you can have a number of different channels, like, under the same account, like, under the same Google AdSense and all of that. And, but I don't think there's any way to transfer one video to another channel without essentially taking it down from one channel and re-uploading it, which will take fucking forever. So I don't know. It might be something that I do in the future. But because, over here on 13 o'clock, we have like 18,000 subscribers. And I think my Scare Salon channel only has like 2,000. You know what I mean? So I like doing those like because they're longer form, but sometimes I feel like they don't get seen as much. Like I post them on the 13 o'clock page and shit like that too. So, but there's only probably so many of y'all that are hardcore enough that would actually like watch them. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, the counts asked me if I listened to the Tony Iommi song. I said, yeah, I did, man. I thought I commented on it to you or told you about it in the on Messenger. But yeah, fucking Ryan James Dio is doing the vocals, man. He sounds really good in it. That's a good song. Kind of like it's chanting in the back of it, almost kind of a religious motif at certain times. No way to really describe it. I'd have to listen to it again, but yeah, it was awesome. It was good. Kind of power metal, kind of a little bit of prog rock type.
Camp Guy says, Francis Ford Coppola's son or some other really close relative was killed in a water skiing accident, injured by the rope, I think. I never heard that, actually. I'd have to look that up. Now I'm kind of curious. Yeah, and then he says, anything around the water can be dangerous if you're not careful. I even heard of a doctor in the office I worked at whose toddler kid disappeared on a family boating outing underwater. Yeah, fuck that. That's why I think it's, especially in Florida, I feel like it's a good idea to teach your kids how to swim. As soon as they're still babies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
because so many people have pools and there's so much water around, and if your kid falls in there and doesn't know how to swim, it's kind of gonna end badly.
Yeah, the count also tagged me in that Rathskeller photo. Yeah, I was a regular there. Yeah. It's funny because I didn't remember it looking like that, but I remembered that sign. I'm not sure it looked exactly like that during the time that I was there, but maybe it was. I only saw it with the door open at night, so I don't think I ever saw it in the day. But I forgot that it was that small. You went in there and it opened up though. It got bigger on the inside. But that was it. Yeah, and I think it was that same sign. It's a real famous punk rock club and fucking just underground. Skinheads would hang out there and stuff. And
Yeah, even I've heard of that place.
yeah, it was called the Rascal. It was
and
in
I
Boston.
and I didn't grow up there.
Yeah.
I grew up in Florida.
It was kind of like Boston's version of CBGB's.
I mean,
They had live music there, but not during the time I was there. They stopped doing the shows.
the goth and
Or
punk
maybe they did.
punk scene around here was so small that, like, the clubs in other cities like became kind of famous just through kind of word of mouth. You know what I
I
mean?
may have to take that back because I think I did see some shows downstairs there at the Rathskeller. So I guess they did. It's just it wasn't always. I think back in the '80s and the '70s it was more live venue than anything else. But it was you could go in there and for $5 get an entire pitcher of draft beer on the tap. It wasn't great, but you could get fucked up.
That's really all that
for
matters,
$5.
isn't
Yeah.
it? Be a cheap date, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't drink that though all the time unless I was broke.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
nice to have that option.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. If you could just hang out there. If you had $5, you could drink that pitcher and nurse that shit all day. And other people were buying pitchers and if you were talking to them, they'd give you some.
Yeah.
So it was like everybody, and it was like fucking old school American pub culture there. Probably more like something you'd see in London.
Yeah, I
Because
imagine
Boston
so.
is very London-esque. It looks like parts of London.
I feel like it's probably the most London-y city.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but it's among the most London-y
It was made to
cities.
look like that during the colonial
in the
period.
United
It
States.
just looked like that. Real narrow roads in certain spots. It really wasn't really convenient to have a car there, which is unlike a lot of American places in America.
Yeah, really, almost everywhere in the United States, you pretty much need a car,
Yeah.
or your life is going to be severely
Yeah.
curtailed.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to get anywhere.
No, you won't be able to get anywhere.
I mean, other than New York, Boston, DC,
Yeah.
like places that have really, really good public transport, and everything's kind of walkable and close
Yeah.
together.
That's only in the New England area.
Yeah.
Because it's old and it was made during those times.
Yeah.
Anything new is not
No.
made for mass transit.
And really, like the further out west you go, like the farther apart everything is.
Yeah.
So you definitely need a car
Yeah.
up there, or like I said, or you're not gonna be able to get any place.
Yeah. And some foreigners might, well, they need to adapt to, trains and no, America will never do that.
It's too big. It's just
too
like
big. Too spread out.
it's too spread out, and it's
And-
just kind of like I said, we
And
have
Americans
good
Go
we
ahead.
have good public transportation in big cities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's walkable in cities. But like out here, like where we live, we're out in like semi-rural, like suburban kind of thing. Like you wouldn't be able to go. The only place you'd be able to go here was Dollar General if you
you
didn't
can
have
walk
a
there,
car.
yeah.
You could walk to Dollar General from
Yeah.
here. And if you had to in a pinch, you could walk down to McDonald's and
Yeah.
Publix. But it's kind of far.
And in general, Americans don't like public transportation because Americans are dangerous. You're going to be, it's the equivalent of going to jail, like spending the night in jail. You're in the same people that you meet in a jail, they're in there. If you took a bus in this area, oh man, it'd be the dregs. People that can't afford cars.
People that had DUIs.
People that had DUIs.
That had their licenses taken away.
People that are in and out of prisons and jails constantly. Fucking very low end, low rent people. There's no money in mass transit. And if you made it where everybody was using mass transit, it would just be, the criminal element would just have a field day, man. They'd just rob you blind. It'd be bad. Yeah. Even in big cities. In Boston, I used it all the time, but I was mostly taking like the red line, sometimes the green line. But those are like the safe lines. If you started going in like fucking orange line and red line, purple line, or I don't remember all the colors, but some of those were you're basically in prison. Now, once you switch over to like orange line, it's all the convicts and shit, convicts and gangsters.
I remember I haven't been to DC in a while, but I remember DC's public transport being really nice. It was like really clean and everything. But like I said, that's a pretty contained area. Like it's not really that big. And I spent a lot of time in New York City also, and I took public transport everywhere, and I never had an issue. But you know, I like that because it's walkable. But like I said, where we are, you can't really walk to anything. And honestly, where we live, there's not even any sidewalks.
No sidewalks.
You just have to walk in the grass, like on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Daytona Beach, and they have a bus, the Votran, meaning for Volusia County. And I used to, before I had a car, I used to have to take that all the time, like to work and to college and stuff like that. And it wasn't terrible. Like it was mostly old people or disabled people or people that couldn't drive for one reason or another. So it wasn't awful, but it was super, super inconvenient because everything was so spread out and they only had, you know, X amount of buses. So it's like, so all the routes would go like these crazy kind of, sometimes you had to transfer 2 or 3 times, like to get where you're going. Everything took an hour. It was just a huge pain in the butt. Like when I worked at this newspaper, and from my house, I had to take one bus. I took the bus halfway there, and then I walked the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Which was like half a mile or longer. Maybe it was a whole mile.
There was
because it would take too long to go all the way around.
I saw videos of this German girl who was traveling to the United States. Sometimes she'd rent a car, and and then sometimes she would take the trains, and she was taking like the Sun Rails and the Amtraks going from one city to the next. And she said that it was just better than anything they had in Europe. Said that the food on the cars, and it was like it wasn't crowded at all.
I always wanted to do like a cross-country Amtrak trip. I think that would be really fun.
She was doing Amtrak, and she said it was like nicer than any airplane.
It's not cheaper than flying anymore.
No, flying's cheaper.
But I don't like flying, so I would much rather like chill out on a train and not be in the sky.
Yeah.
That would actually be a lot more relaxing.
She was just impressed at how like high tech it was, and that the staff was super friendly, and they had like a dining car, and the food was really good in there. So it's like better than anything she could get in Germany.
Yeah, you can do like they still have like routes and trips that you can do where they go to all these, like, you know, you go up the East Coast and they stop in this city for a few days and that city in a few days. Like they have like whole like curated trips you can do. Yeah. Like I said, they're not cheap.
So then she ends up in one of like the 3rd tier cities. I don't remember if it was Cincinnati or if it was something like that. We have so many. I don't think it was Chicago.
I mean, Chicago's kind of a major city.
Yeah, that's one of the bigger ones. But no, it's one that is pretty big, but you never hear about it much. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she traveled around it just on the little train system that they had, and she said it was amazing. She says, and they always in Europe they always say that Americans don't have trains. No, they have trains. They're huge. They're vast.
Yeah, we do. Just a lot of people don't take them.
Yeah, they don't use them, but certain cities are kind of cut out for it, and other ones aren't. If they were originally built for it, which this city was built for that stuff during like the 20s and the 30s, and it was all marble, you know, it was beautiful stations and shit in there. But most people park their car there at the train station and take the train and go somewhere, go to work, and then they come back. Ride. And then they come back. So that's what we have here. I mean, like, you can just drive 2 miles and park your car and take a train. It's called a Sunrail.
Yeah, we have a Sunrail.
Yeah, and you can go
to Tampa.
To Tampa, and it's quick and it's cheap. Thing is, though, what are you gonna do when you get there? Do you have a car waiting for you? Some people do.
You can get an Uber.
They have people that would work out here and have a car that they keep at that train station, and they have another car at the other station where they live, and when they get there, they drive that car home.
Yeah.
Because you can have 2 cars here. You can get a car here for $2,000. a decent car and keep it in 2 separate locations. And it's only like $40 a year to keep the tags, and maybe $120, maybe $100 a month for insurance, depending on what kind of car it is, and you got it on the road. So a lot of people have multiple cars because the distances you're talking about.
When I went
and
to
it's cheap.
When I went to DC, I rented a car and drove to DC, but the hotel I was staying at was in Arlington, Virginia, so it was outside of DC. So I would just drive the car to the train station and then ride the metro into DC and like go to all the museum, like the Smithsonian and shit like that. And then at the end of the day, I would just go because I didn't want to drive into the city, you know. What I mean?
But if you were just dependent on trains, you'd only be able to access probably maybe 15 or 20% of the United States. You'd never be able to get into a national park. You'd never be able to get into the desert. And the whole Southwest is a big fucking desert.
Is it? Yes, it is.
You'd never get into there. You'd never get into Sequoia or any of the national forest or redwood forest. They're just for interstate stuff.
Yeah.
Inner city.
Like I said, I wouldn't be averse if I had to go somewhere and I wasn't in a huge hurry or anything like that, like far away. I probably would much rather take a train. Like I said, it's not cheaper than flying, but I fucking hate flying. And flying is just, and aside from the fact that I'm just terrified of flying and I hate it, it's just such a pain in the ass. Like all the fucking security bullshit you have to go through. I mean, I think you have to do some of that on trains too, but it's just like, it's so much less hassle just to go on a train.
That German girl said there was nothing in Europe that could compare to that Amtrak trains.
I've never been on an Amtrak, so I can't speak to that. But
she was videotaping it, or she was not videotaping, recording in there, and it looked nice.
Videotaping, we're old.
You don't videotape it. That's like video. She was in there recording, and it looked nice in there. You know, it was. And she just said the seats were big, and everything was air conditioned. It was real clean in there. The food was great, and no scummy people on there. Everybody's there.
Like I said, because it's expensive.
It's expensive, yeah. It's high end.
Well, like I said, I think most people that take it nowadays are taking it as like kind of a vacation thing, and whereas the train journey is like part of the vacation. You know what I mean? They
got like the conductors they're like stewardesses and getting people on and off the train and helping people to train. And it was she was just amazed at how empty it was in there, how very, very few people.
Yeah, like I said, not a lot of people take them because like I said, it's almost more, and I even looked up because I was curious. I was like, man, if I wanted to do that one day, because it sounds kind of fun, like how much would it cost? And I was like, wow, they have like all these package deals where you can go, like they have like a southern one where you can go to, you know, what do you call it, where you can go to like Winston-Salem, and you can go to you know, place in Georgia and shit like that. And they have ones that goes all up and down the East Coast. They have like a New England one. And, you know, they're, like I said, they're not cheap, but it's kind of cool. Like you can kind of go to one city and like I said, you got to pay for hotels and stuff, obviously. Or I don't know if you can sleep on the train. I think some of them you can sleep on the train.
I think you can get sleeper cars.
Yeah. But so they have all, they have all different ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounded kind of fun. I was surprised at how expensive it was, but then I was like, it's not. I mean, flying is expensive too.
It was very kind of corporate looking. Looked like the inside of a real nice Starbucks. The colors that they had were all real modern looking. You know what I mean? Like something out of Starbucks.
Yeah.
It was pretty in there. Yeah. So they're luxury trains. Basically.
Well, yeah, they leaned more into because they know that people aren't taking them for generally practical purposes mostly anymore.
It's touring.
And it's mostly like a touring thing. So they just leaned into that, which is probably the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Camp Guy says Atlanta Airport is one of the most crowded areas you could find. Extremely large. Yeah, I've been there a couple times. It is a fucking massive airport.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if, because, you know, I've been to like Heathrow in London too, which is also fucking massive. I'm not sure if the Atlanta airport is bigger, but it's like, holy crap, what a pain. Like you get there, I think the few times I've been there, because I think the couple of times I've been to Atlanta, I drove because it's only about 6 or 7 hours from here.
Atlanta's supposed to be super nice now.
My sister lives there.
It's supposed to be really nice. Does she like it?
Yeah, she likes it.
Yeah.
She's like, it's too hot, obviously.
Yeah.
But she likes it. And honestly, she's always talking about because the fucking traffic in that place is insane.
Yeah.
because it's massive. It's a massive, massive city, massive highways, and it does not bother her at all. She likes to drive. I don't, but
Atlanta is like the South's version of New York City. As a matter of fact, they filmed movies there, and used Atlanta as a substitute for New York City.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
let's say
when
it's
they're
New
not
York.
using Toronto as a
Yeah,
substitute for
Toronto,
they do that a lot too.
It looks like that. But evidently, it's got a lot of new buildings and a lot of new construction there. It's really nice. But you never really hear Atlanta mentioned much outside the South, at least.
I mean, it's a huge hub. Like the airport is up. Like I said, the only times that I've gone to the airport, I was transferring like to somewhere else. I think a couple times I had to fly to Atlanta before I flew to London, and I think a couple times I had to go fly to Atlanta before I went to New York.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's so big that, you know, you really don't have much time to like make your connecting flight because the place is like fucking miles and miles away. You know what I mean?
Got a super chat.
Thank you very much. Count Orlock
Nice,
says,
Count.
Tom, did you and Jenny watch the trailer to my new movie that I sent you? Did you get a trailer to
No, I didn't
movie?
get a trailer. I have to see it. Yeah, I'll check again.
I don't think I've got it, but I'll check and see.
Yeah.
Because I don't. Where'd you send it at? Because sometimes I forget to look at some of my messages. I especially forget to look at my Instagram messages.
Yeah, we get bombarded with stuff. We can't
should
keep up
do
with
that.
everything.
I probably should do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have a look. CB says, my friend is scared of flying, so his sister put air crash investigation on TV to fuck with him. That's not nice. Honestly, you know what's weird? I didn't really ever fly in a plane until I was in my 20s, like the first time that I went to the UK. And I thought I would be freaked out by it because I'd never been, but when I went on the plane, I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. And the first few times I flew, it didn't bother me at all. But then I was on this one flight, and it was direct from Orlando to London. And I think it was 9 hours, something like that. And about an hour into the flight, we had the worst fucking turbulence I have ever. I mean, you could literally feel the plane like dropping like hundreds and hundreds of feet, like that. And I was like, people were throwing up. Like the stewardesses looked really worried, and I was like, oh fuck, we're gonna die. And like, it was awful. It was like one of the worst experiences ever. And I was like, you know, I keep looking at like, you know, the people that work on the plane, like thinking, well, if they don't look worried, then I'm not gonna worry. But they looked worried, and I was like, oh shit, we're in trouble. And then like that went on for like an hour or two, and then it stopped. But we still had like 7 hours left of the flight, so I just had to sit there and like white knuckle it the whole time. And and we're over the fucking ocean like the whole time, and I was just like, fuck this. So it's like after that, I just got really traumatized about it, and I just did not want to fly anymore. I mean, I did like many more times, but that really soured the experience for me, to be honest. And so if I ever I haven't flown for many years at this point, but I think the last time I flew was going to New York back in 2009 or something. But if I had to do it now, I would be really, really, I would have like a lot of fucking stress about it, you know. I don't like it. I don't like it. And, you know, I probably didn't bring it up because, you know, if you didn't see our Wednesday show where we talked about the very famous plane crash that killed Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper and Richie Valens. And, you know, I know that was a dinky ass plane, but I just don't like the idea of falling out of the sky. I don't like it.
Doesn't bother me.
Well, that's good, but it bothers me. I don't like it. Not one bit. That's not how I want to go.
I love flying.
I said too, like with my luck, it's like I'd be flying and like the plane would go down in the middle of the fucking ocean, and then I'd survive the crash, and then like a shark would eat me or something like that. That's like my worst fucking nightmare. You know what I mean? So those are like the two things that I'm scared the most of.
I used to like flying in fucking UH-60 Blackhawks, fucking UH-1 Hueys, doors open, flying nap of the earth, hanging out the fucking side. I'd have fucking M60 fucking in my fucking lap, holding onto it with dear life because they're fucking pulling negative G's and shit. I was afraid. The only thing I worried about is somehow that I would drop that fucking M60 and it would fucking go out the door. And we'd be spending fucking months looking for that thing out in the middle of the fucking Korean forest, you know. That was the only thing I was ever afraid of, is accidentally losing my weapon or my helmet.
I mean, they could give you another one.
What?
Helmet.
Well, if it fell out, it would be a huge disgrace. The weapon, you'd have to look for it. they'd have the whole fucking company out there looking for that fucking thing, trying to find it. And then they probably charge you for the repair of that thing too.
Well, I mean, it's kind of your fault that you dropped it, so.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I never did drop it.
Well, I know. I'm saying
I was just
if you
afraid
did,
that I would fucking
then that
lose
would-
it and
then,
fall
yeah,
out the
that
window.
would
Everybody
kinda-
was thinking the same thing.
that
though.
would kind of be your fault.
Everybody was afraid, man, I fucking hate to lose this. Yeah, I just fucking loved it. I love flying. And fucking flying low, man. Watching fucking rotor blades.
Like if you dropped it, you'd be like jumping out after it.
Yeah.
Ah, and then you'd fucking die.
It's not very far to the ground because you're flying right over the fucking treetops. The thing is you're going like 140 knots. Say, fucking, you're not going slow. And you go through those fucking tree limbs that kill you. But we'd flying through there, and I'd look out, I could swear I'd see the rotor going through the damn pine trees. I was going, I was looking out there and could have swore I saw it hit the fucking pine tree, and I look ahead of me at the guy that was fucking facing me because the seats face each other in the rows. And we both looked at each other like, did you see that? Yeah, it hit, didn't it? Because, I guess that big rotor, you would think that that'd be dangerous, but that rotor, it has so much energy, that it just went right through that tree. It ignored it. But, it's scary to see it happen, though.
Camp Guy says, I'm up near Chattanooga. And Chattanooga only has about 6 or 8 gates at the airport. You can park almost across the street and walk over directly to the terminal. Yeah, so the nice thing about this, and I don't know how many people that come to the Orlando area to go to Disney or whatever, like how many people know this, but look into flying into Sanford International Airport rather than Orlando International Airport. Because Orlando International Airport, well, not huge. I think it's only 3 terminals.
It's a madhouse.
But it's a shit show. Pretty much. Not as much of a shit show as the Atlanta airport or the Denver airport or like other bigger ones I've been to. But it's still kind of a shit show. I really hate driving there. And it's, because everyone's a tourist. Nobody knows where they're going. It's like there's lanes going everywhere and people are just like, blah, blah, blah. They're just like all over the place. It's crazy. So the Sanford airport goes a lot of places that the Orlando one does, or at least you can transfer to Atlanta. And the Sanford airport is tiny, tiny. Like, not tiny like a regional, but it's pretty small. And you can just park, like, right next to it and just walk right in.
It's never crowded.
And it's never crowded because
nice.
I think a lot of people don't know about it.
It's nice and new, and it's never crowded. Going through security is like a breeze.
Yeah, it's like nothing.
Yeah. It's real nice in there.
It's like the one time...
It's like a nice private airport.
Well, when you flew to Mississippi the first time, you flew out of Sanford, and I went to pick him up, and I was like, oh my god, this is so nice. It's just like, I was like, I just parked like right there, and then it was just 2 minutes, and just like I walked into the, the Orlando one, you got to park in the big parking garage, and you got to pay, and it's like this big long trek, like, and it's just a nightmare. And this place, it was just like walking into like a little mall or something. And I was like, it's right here. That's crazy.
Yep.
It was just really nice. Now, I will note that it is much farther to Disney World, but the thing about it is if you fly into Orlando International Airport, yes, they have buses that go directly to all the Disney resorts and stuff like that, but Disney World is not in Orlando, it's in Lake Buena Vista. You know what I mean? It's still kind of a haul out there. So, really, flying from Sanford, it's only like an extra, like half hour? It's not really that big of a deal. It's just a lot less stressful, I've found, the Sanford airport. Just a pro tip. And I'm not sure, it might be just as expensive now as flying in or out of Orlando airport. Because I don't ever have cause to check that. But I do remember years ago when I was still married to my ex, and his relatives flew from the UK here. And they actually they didn't fly from London, they flew from Cardiff in Wales, which is a smaller airport, and they flew to Sanford. And I think it was direct. Maybe they flew out of Manchester. I don't remember. It was somewhere that wasn't London.
Can't guys talk about people jumping out of airplanes? Jumping out of the airplanes without a parachute on? I think that's what he's talking about.
Yes, I heard a guy that was watching parachuters jump out. Yeah. He hung out at the airport and talked his way in. Then he was waiting for the parachuters to jump, and he jumped out too.
Jumped out too. Without a parachute.
Did he just forget, or was he just like looking to off himself?
Must have wanted to off himself
and wanted to go out in a spectacular way or something like that. Because it's just he just got so excited.
Yeah.
Oh yay! I'm gonna do that too. Oh shit! Well, too late to take that back.
Well, did you see what those Brazilian dudes did? Brazilian dudes were had this bungee jump thing that you could pay for, and they took the girl up and they had her in the airplane position and they ran with her, and they ran to the edge. It was like on a plank, like a diving board type of thing on the top of the cliff, and they ran out there and threw her off the edge. The dude on her back forgot to hook her fucking bungee cord up. She went all the way down, just boom, head first, killed her.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and they went to he forgot to hook her up. And it was funny because that was his only job.
You had one job.
One job. Make sure
Benito, or whatever your name is.
Yeah, they had something around her leg, ready to go. And then the bungee cord, I guess, has a fucking hook, a fucking gated hook on it. And all you had to do is just clip them on. That way, all your people who paid, they were all in rigs ready to go. You just hook the rig up to the bungee cable. He forgot to hook her up. And you see him in the back of the line holding her feet. And they got two guys in the front are holding her upper body. And they run and just throw her off the diving board. And she goes down like she's an airplane, not knowing that there's
knowing that there's nothing attached.
nothing connected. And they got it on video.
I mean, at least she probably didn't know it hit her, because she was probably thinking all the way down. Gee, I wonder when the
I wonder when it's gonna happen. Yeah, they forgot to hook the cable up.
Yikes!
They got it on video.
Well, yeah, the camp guy said he saw that video. He's like, I didn't watch it though. I'm like, yeah. I don't blame you. I don't want to watch that either.
Yeah, she's smiling like getting ready to go.
I mean, well, that's another thing too. I no shade on people that like doing that kind of thing and like all that kind of thrill and everything like that. I have too much self-preservation for that kind of bullshit. It's like, I don't need to do that. I don't really see the need to like needlessly put myself in those situations just to feel something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, why the fuck would I want to jump off a cliff? No thanks.
Well, if you got a bungee cable, it's safe.
Still, no thanks.
But they forgot to hook it up to her.
So it's not safe. Because human error. And see, that's the only thing that I would think of. I wouldn't be able to like have fun or enjoy myself or anything like that. Because I'm thinking, I bet that motherfucker forgot to fucking, you know what I mean? Because that's all it takes is one retard to like not fucking hook the shit up.
I'm fully qualified to rappel, going to air assault school, rappelling out of helicopters. I fucking loved it. And we had a day where we were on just a training, what do you call it thing? It's like a jump wall. It's got a fucking closed and an open side where you can practice doing Swiss rappelling and fucking Australian rappelling. And once they got done, they said, if anybody wants to fucking rappel, we're gonna be here for another couple hours before they come and get us. So I was like, fuck it. So I jumped off a lot of times. It was, it's fun. And I was doing Australian, which is you're jumping out head first like that. And then put your arms out and do this and to slow down. Or I don't remember which one it was. Yeah, to slow down like that. You have gloves on. It's fun. But the thing is that I hooked myself up. So I know I was hooked up.
Even then, like, even if I was allowed to hook myself up, I would still be like, well, the equipment could still fail. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's just not worth it to me. It's
just a rope. A rope and a D-ring.
I know, that's what I mean. It's
rope,
just, it's not worth it
gloves.
to me. Like I said, it'd be different if you were training for something. It's like, because you might have to do that, like in real life, to rescue people or something like that. Like, yeah, that's understandable. But it's like just doing it for shits and giggles. Nah, son. Well, that's like I said. I don't want to die doing stupid shit like that. That's why I'm always just kind of like people that go like free climbing and stuff, like up mountains with no equipment and shit like that. I'm just like, I hate to say it, but it's like, if you fall, I don't really feel it bad. I mean, you chose to do that. You were aware that could, remember I saw that video of that guy that, didn't he like rappel up like skyscrapers and shit like that? Like with no, and he fell. You know what I mean? And I'm just like,
he was free climbing though.
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah, I think that's insane.
Yeah, it is insane. And like I said, if you fall, I mean, you're obviously probably going to fall at some point.
And they have those dudes that get on top of a fucking building and then just fucking hang off the fucking ledge by one hand and then switch.
Yeah.
And try to go, and they'd do a whole little routine. And the dude was down there doing his thing and then slipped.
Yeah.
And there he went.
And like I said, all it took was a second.
Yep.
And it splat. You're dead. Why? What was it all for? Because you thought somebody would be impressed somewhere? I don't know.
No, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's adrenaline addictions.
I guess so.
Adrenaline junkies.
But
he got his adrenaline hit.
Yeah.
I'm sure he went, oh, fuck, all the way down.
Like I said,
adrenaline was surging through his body.
I do not like heights either. So it's like, I absolutely would not do that. Now, I will, along those lines, though, I would recommend, well, there's a documentary, it came out several years ago, called Man on Wire. And it was about, oh man, I can't remember the dude's name. He's French, I think. French or French-Canadian. And he was well known for walking on tightropes in between skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And he never fell. Like, he lived, like, a whole, like, and he did it for years and years and years. So he was lucky, like, in that he never fell. And I was, like, really interested to see this documentary. Holy shit, that was, like, one of the most fucking stressful things I ever watched. Even though I knew he didn't die. I knew he didn't fall. Like, because I knew who he was, like, because he's kind of famous. And so, like, I'm watching it being, but the whole time I was just like, oh my God, he's going to, oh my God, I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it.
They'd send him to jail because he was doing that illegally every time.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, obviously, like, the liability. Nobody wants your stupid ass, like, walking in between fucking, I think at some point, I think they had to, like, sneak into buildings and, like, take all the equipment up to the roof, like, in the middle of the night and, like, all this other kind of crap.
He had a whole team of guys helping him.
Philip Petit. Yep, that was his name. Yeah, that's who it was.
He had a team of guys helping him.
Great documentary, but holy crap, I don't think I'll ever watch it again. Because, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like I think that's probably what freaks me out about plane crashes. I don't even think it's the plane crash per se, because I feel like if the plane crashed when it was landing and it was like close to the ground, like that still sucks, but it doesn't scare me as much. I don't like the feeling of like dropping.
The thing is it doesn't.
You know,
the plane crashes close to the ground always. It never really just
not always.
Almost always.
Yes, that is more common.
More common, yeah. The plane rarely disassembles itself in flight. That does happen a couple times.
It does happen sometimes.
But it's very rare.
And I was just like, with my luck, that would be the one time.
Usually something catastrophic's going on with the plane, they have to fucking land immediately.
Yeah.
And then the plane isn't it's not in a good enough condition to land, and it fucking hits and it falls apart. And you don't die from the fall, you die from the plane breaking apart and catching on fire because it's all jet fuel. That's usually what kills them. Now, some of them have just run straight into the ground.
Yeah.
Boom, a lot of those planes at 9/11 just ran straight into the ground. I think 2 of them did.
Yeah, it's just fucking freaky.
One went straight into the ground, the other one hit the Pentagon. Although some people say that didn't happen.
It did, though. Yeah. Tom Baker says, Law to Air, that went crazy and broke apart. Yeah, it has happened.
Yeah, it's rare, though.
Like, it's much rarer. Yeah, usually if a plane's going to crash, God forbid, it usually happens on takeoff or landing, or soon after takeoff or landing.
It's pretty low when it's fucking...
But there have been, a disturbing number of cases where shit just fell out of the sky and or the plane broke apart for some reason.
The best one I've ever seen with the highest pucker factor was a dude flying an ultralight aircraft, and he's got a GoPro on his helmet. And he's flying at probably 5,000 or 6,000 feet, and he starts having fucking catastrophic control problems happening, where the fucking plane starts, or his little fucking paper kite starts fucking up.
Yeah.
And there's engine trouble and control surface trouble. He sees a road, he starts heading towards it, and it's sometimes just losing altitude fucking, and he saves it, and he gets it to the road and smacks it into the road and fucking crumples part of the thing, and it fucking, the propellers hit the fucking road, hit the ground, and he runs into a tree, and it fucking rips the fucking side of the thing, and then it comes to a stop. And you can hear a huge sigh of relief come out of him, like, God damn, made it.
And did that teach him a lesson? Did he stop doing it? Probably not.
Pretty fucking rough, yeah. He's going, no,
yeah, well,
things go,
that's what you get for getting up on the sky in a little fucking kite, bro.
Yeah.
For no fucking reason.
He made it, though. He got it down. Got it down, not in one piece, but he lived, and he wasn't hurt. Yeah.
No thanks.
A hang glider with a little lawnmower engine on it.
Like I said, I'm not putting my life at risk in that way for no reason. You know what I mean? Just for like adrenaline rush or whatever.
would.
It's like I know you would, but it's
I
just
looked
like
at buying one.
Like I said, I think it's dumb. You know, I just think it's dumb to risk your life.
It's kind of similar to riding a motorcycle, an ultralight aircraft. Very similar. A little bit more risky, probably. But if you kept that thing in good condition, as long as you didn't try to fly it outside its design parameters, you'd be all right.
Probably.
And some dudes aren't cut out for that. I'm pretty sure I could fly one. You don't need a pilot's license because it's too lightweight. And you can take it off. I could probably take off in my backyard in that thing. I got an acre here.
You have fun with that. Just make sure you get yourself a life insurance policy, okay?
They just fly it around, and then land it. They don't go very fast, but that's not what they're about. They're just about flying it around.
Camp Guy says that crash in Asia last year where the plane landed and kept skidding across the tarmac and ran into a big dirt berm at full speed.
Yeah.
I think that was in Korea. And then he said, inside of caves freaks me out. You know what's weird?
Yeah, those are bad.
Other caves don't bother me.
No.
Now if it's something like the Descent situation where it's like these tiny little fucking holes, no, fuck that. I'm not doing that. But it's just like going down. I was in Wales and they have like a lot of caves and shit like that and coal mines and stuff. And I went down in a coal mine and I went down to like all kind of caves and that didn't bother me at all. Like I don't really have claustrophobia in that way. Like I said, I'm not crawling in like a tiny ass little hole. Like no, thank you. But just being in a cave doesn't bother me, or being underground doesn't bother me.
No, that bothers me.
Yeah, see, that doesn't bother me at all.
But I'm picturing claustrophobia. I don't like claustrophobia.
Well, nobody likes that.
And what comes to mind is those guys that will go into unexplored crevices inside these caves. Like,
yeah,
go in that little bitty crack.
Again, why?
And they don't even know where they're going. Or
it's look, more rock. How exciting.
If they can even come out anywhere. And one that came to mind was there was a guy, and he was experienced and everything, and he's with a party of other dudes, and he crawls down into a tube in between two rocks, and when he gets to the bottom, he has to kind of like go up. It's like a fucking U-turn, or like a U-bend.
Like the thing like under the toilet.
Yeah, it goes like that. and he's got a helmet, he's got a light, he's got all this shit. And he gets stuck. And he can't back out.
Yeah.
He's too much.
And that would take a while to die.
He's trapped. He can't back out. And he's in a fucking bad back-bending position. So they tried to get him out for a few hours, and then they abandoned him. And they said, we're going to go get some help. And we're going to bring a team of guys down. By the time they got back to him, he was dead.
Well, yeah.
And I was just, imagine that dude not being able,
Yeah, see, I don't like that.
That dude not being able to move, and he's in that weird position.
I feel like people that have claustrophobia, like, I feel like claustrophobia is kind of a more extreme thing where it's like, it doesn't even have to be like that. Because that kind of situation, everybody hates that. Nobody is just like, oh, they're totally cool with that.
Imagine for the life of you can't stand up.
Yeah.
You can't straighten out.
That's horrible. That's horrible. Yeah, when I'm talking about caves, I'm not talking about that. Like, obviously, that's fucking stupid. Hey, let's crawl into this tiny little hole that I can barely...
little crack, See if it opens up and gets wider on the other side.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Nope, it sure didn't. Yeah. Guess you found out.
Yeah.
Didn't ya? And, like, what are you going to do with what you've learned as information? Nothing, because you're dead. Yeah, Camp Guy said that's the scariest movie I've ever seen, The Descent. I mean, The Descent, the great thing about The Descent is that even if there were no monsters in it, I mean, I'm glad there are monsters in it, but even if there weren't, it would still be scary as shit. And then they just compound it, like with being like, oh, and by the way, also there's monsters that eat your face. So, you know what I mean? In case what we were showing you up to now wasn't bad enough. You know what I mean? The first time I saw The Descent was on an airplane flight. And this was after, I don't think it was the same flight. It might have been. I don't think it was the same flight that, soured my experience on flying, like, forever, like, with all the turbulence and stuff. It was either that flight or the next one. And so, why the fuck did I choose to watch The Descent? Because I can't sleep on planes. So, it's like, so I just had to stay up and watch movies all night. Because it was an overnight flight, it's like a red eye. And so it's 9 hours overnight. Like you get to London at like 6 in the morning or something. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I like horror movies, so I'm gonna watch this. And that was the most stressful fucking. And I'm not usually that bothered by like horror movies, but you know, I'm in a little metal tube in the sky, like over the Atlantic Ocean in the middle of the night. I'm kind of sleep deprived, and I'm watching this movie and being like, this was one of the stupidest decisions I've ever made. it really it really ups the effectiveness of the movie for me, gonna say. But I've watched it again several times, like on the ground, and it's still pretty scary. Uh, Yeah, that's what Counterlock said. The same thing. The scenes of being trapped between the rocks and the descent was scarier and more nerve wracking than the humanoid dwellers. Yeah, because like I said, the monsters are good. That was a good addition. But I think people could relate more to like, oh, being in this cave and nobody knowing you were there, and then like getting stuck in this fucking tiny ass hole. Like everybody could imagine what that would be like, you know. So Camp Guy said, I've been in crawling caves before, dry, when I was in the Boy Scouts. We actually spent the night inside a cave. Camp Guy said, I heard they do overnight long flights to protect the pilots and stewards from solar radiation. The higher you are, the more photons penetrate. I've heard that too. I don't know, because I thought they did like all day flights too, but it seemed like every time that I flew overseas, it was always overnight. It was always an overnight flight. So I would leave Orlando, because there's like a 5-hour difference between Orlando and London. And so I would leave Orlando at like, I don't know, 6 or 7 p.m. our time. And then you would get to London at like 6 or 7 in the morning their time, because I think it's like an 8 or 9 hour flight. And it depends on the route they take too, because I think sometimes they would go up the coast and then over. And then sometimes they would just go straight over. I guess it depended on what the weather conditions were like and shit. So sometimes it was only 7.5 hours. Sometimes it was 9 hours and 20 minutes. Sometimes, sometimes coming back took longer than going over. You know what I mean? Sometimes they flew all the way up and over Greenland. You know what I mean? So, man, my drink is empty already. Although not already. I made it like 2 hours ago. So it's not like I'm chugging it. Today at Dollar General, Today at Dollar General, Tom got some Tahitian treat.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they made that anymore.
Maybe they brought it back just a special, just for fucking...
Just for Dollar General.
I don't know.
I mean, they have to be selling enough of it to justify making it, but... I mean, I knew they still made Hawaiian Punch, but I was like, man, I hadn't heard a Tahitian treat in a long time. I was like, I didn't even think they made that. When he first said it, I thought it was like a ripoff, but no, it's actually Tahitian treat. It's a 2-liter. It's pretty good too. We have that, and we also have the Fanta pineapple, which I still maintain is, of all the sodas that we get, that's the best one, like to mix with vodka, the pineapple Fanta. The root beer and shit is good too, but yeah. Oracle is here. Fordanian says, talking about Escape from New York. Like where Snake Plissken landed on the World Trade Center. It's like, here's me thinking Snake landed on the real building, lol. Yeah, they made, if I remember correctly, I saw a documentary about the making of it a while back. And didn't they constructed the entire city like in miniature? And I think like for all the lights and stuff like that, like didn't they use like just reflective tape? It was like some really lo-fi effect, but it looked really good. Do you remember when we watched the making of feature on Escape from New York, and they were talking about the miniature that they made?
Yeah.
And I said, didn't they just use like reflective tape or something like that? Yeah.
They had two,
like to make it look like, they made it look like a computer frame.
There were two. There was
illustration.
It was one model. One model was an exact replica, kind of the twin towers in downtown New York and part of the water. It was a miniature. It looked real good. And they shot that. The airplane in the clouds, Air Force One in the clouds, was also miniatures and cotton. big cotton balls on
Yeah,
fucking.
which you'd never know.
You
Like
never
looking
know.
at it.
They had them sitting on fucking sheets of nylon stretched real thin, so you couldn't see them. And they sprayed water on the miniature of New York to make it look like the ocean around it. It wasn't deep though; it was only a few millimeters. It looked good, and they shot it like that. And that's what they did the nighttime shots. And it doesn't look like a miniature, but it is though.
They knew what they were doing with miniatures back then. A lot of movies had miniatures that you would never know were miniatures.
They put reflective strips around all the buildings.
Yeah, that's what I remembered.
Of that model, and reshot it again, and it looked like computer vector graphics.
Yeah.
It looked like vectorscope graphics.
And this was like 81, so obviously you couldn't really...
They didn't have the technology.
Have the technology, or if it did, it was like too expensive.
Yeah, to get it was easier just to shoot a miniature and make it look like computer graphics.
And they did it. It looked really good.
Yeah, and and they showed that during the sequence when Spike's flying the what they call it, the Gulf wing. What they call his aircraft? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
It was like a jet powered glider. Or a rocket powered glider. It might have been jet powered glider. And inside his controls, he's looking down. They're showing like a computer night vision of New York beneath him, and he's looking at the instruments, and they keep showing you that. And that's what Snake was using to navigate, trying to find a fucking landing place or something. But he landed on top of the Twin Towers so he could take off again.
Probably pretty smart. Yeah. So he's like, hey, nobody's using this area up here, are they?
That was the plan, though. I don't really know why they did, because he did a couple of loop-to-loops and looked around.
Yeah.
Did an aerial reconnaissance. Because you had to be up high for the thing to take off again, because I think he was out of fuel or something.
Yeah, there was some reason that he couldn't like take off from the ground, but I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, so I don't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, that was the plan, wasn't it? That's where he was supposed to land
on top of there.
I was going to say park it.
And then he kind of locked the door to the roof behind him so people couldn't get to the, I think they called it a Gulf Stream. The name of the aircraft that he had.
That sounds right.
Some kind of like spy plane that he was qualified to, he'd been qualified to fly that, to pilot it.
Count Orlick says, Escape from New York remake is said to be directed by Zack Snyder, and it's possible Jeffrey Dean Morgan might play Snake.
And they've been saying remake for fucking 10
years. Yeah, I don't know if that'll... Well, that's the thing. It's like a lot of times they'll talk about, oh, we're going to remake this and that, and people freak out. But it's like, 9 times out of 10, it never gets made. Well, I think like 9 times out of 10, most of the movies they talk about don't get made. And that's not just because... That's just because they kind of talk about it, and it's just like, deals fall through and shit like that, and just shit never happens. I mean, we've done lots of shows about different movies where... this movie was supposed to be made like 20 years ago, and like they just never got around to it. It just went into like development hell until somebody finally fucking made it, Even I was doing the review of that Karen Black movie that I watched, The Pix, and they said they'd been working on that one, like getting that made for like since 1964, and then it didn't come out until almost 10 years later. So
if you liked Snake Plissken and Escape from New York style movies, there is an unofficial third one. It's called Lockout.
Yeah.
It's kind of Escape from Earth.
It's kind of in the same universe.
It was supposed to be. I heard it was supposed to be.
They just couldn't get the rights to stuff.
Couldn't get the rights to shit, and they couldn't.
But it's in the same universe. It's supposed to be.
Yeah, both in the same universe. It's supposed to be Snake Plissken, but they got that other guy playing it. The guy who what's that guy's name? That actor. It's the one I think from The Machinist or The Mechanic.
Christian Bale?
Christian Bale.
Machinist.
Machinist, yeah.
Man, we still haven't reviewed that one either. That's a great fucking
I haven't seen
movie.
it.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, Christian Bale is doing a Snake Plissken type character, but his own take on it. Kind of a gum-chewing, wisecracking type dude. And he's got to go into space to save the president's daughter.
That sounds familiar.
Orbital prison. There's an orbital prison.
Yeah, it's like exactly the same.
They had them all in like cryostasis or something in an orbital
Except
prison.
Sci-fi.
Yeah, Escape from Earth or Escape from Space. It was going to be something like that.
Tom Baker says Kurt Russell is Santa Claus now. I mean, I'm gonna go to bat
He's a good Santa Claus.
for the Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah.
We watch it every single year.
Especially the first one.
The second one was okay.
Yeah, first one's better.
But the first one is a fucking classic. Like, he makes a great Santa Claus. We watched it last Christmas and the Christmas before that.
You can't really do I don't think you can remake Escape from New York.
It's kind of one of those, although, you know.
It was something of its time. And it's not quite an action movie. You know, it's
I wouldn't call it an action movie. I don't know what I'd call it. But it's not really an action movie.
It's not really anything.
It's just its own genre.
And in some ways, it's kind of like a little bit disappointing because nothing really all that violent happens in it. Snake loses his MAC-10 early on. He didn't have a lot of ammo for it to begin with. He makes it out of there. It is a fucking epic flick for the time.
Yeah. It's more an adventure.
Yeah, more like an adventure movie. And if you look at it, you go, he's playing Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And in the what was the one with where he's in Chinatown? Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah, and that one he's playing John Wayne.
Yeah.
And it's obvious to see that that's what he's doing in both of them. It is a good movie. It's not as good as The Thing, though. Another Carpenter.
Well, and now I'm going to say that, and some people, and I'm not going to argue with anybody that would say that Halloween was John Carpenter's best movie, okay? Because that's a fucking fantastic movie, too. But I'm just going to say The Thing, I think that is his magnum opus.
Yeah.
He made a lot of great movies. He did. But man, I don't think he ever topped The Thing. That movie is still fucking great.
A lot of the success, and it wasn't that successful when it came out of Escape from New York. It actually kind of did mediocre in the box office at the time that it came out. But it was visually very successful, and a lot of it had to do it because there was some kind of fire that happened. I think was it in Chicago or was it in Baltimore? A large area of the city fucking burns down. And they used that.
Yeah, it wasn't. Shit. Where did they shoot that? It was somewhere weird. Like it was
Cincinnati.
Yeah, it was somewhere like that. Like I thought it was somewhere in the Midwest or something.
There was a large fire. It burned out a lot of the city.
Yeah, it had like burned several blocks,
several square miles,
and they used that. And they were like, "Ooh, how fortuitous!"
Post-apocalyptic New York.
Yeah.
So it's not a set.
No, it's a real city that was.
Yeah.
Part of it was burned.
Yeah, and it looks fucking great. It does have a very spooky atmosphere. It has a very atmospheric movie. I really like the beginning when Spike's getting when Snake's getting drafted. Basically, they give him a deal. Hey, you're going to go in and get a president. We'll give you a full pardon. And when they're equipping him, that's a great scene. And he's looking at the weapons that he's getting and everything. And ninja throwing stars, a 38 special fucking revolver tricked up to look like a 37 Magnum revolver with some kind of scope on it with a red dot sight on it, which that was very ahead of its time. MAC-10, suppressed MAC-10 with a fucking wacky stupid scope on the suppressor. Total bullshit. You would never do that. But they're just trying to invent a weapon like it's futuristic. It's supposed to be futuristic. And his futuristic Siberian fucking snow camouflage that was just handmade, you know? And his fucking hair and the fucking eye patch. And Kurt was actually in fairly good shape, you know what I mean? He said he worked out as much as he could. He was trying as hard as he could. He didn't give him much time. He wanted to get bigger. But he was at least slim, you know, and he looked good in the role. And the boots were seedy. I believe they were seedy race boots. And those were actually Kurt Russell's motorcycle boots. He just added a couple of spikes on the front of them. He made a couple of modifications. Those were his road race boots. So that was really his shit. So he was kind of building on that character. He liked that character a lot when he was doing it. But so there was a lot of love in putting that movie together. Ernest Borgnine was in it. He did a great job. Fucking.
He always seemed like such a nice dude, Ernest
My
Borgnine.
mom met him, and she said he was a real nice guy back in California back in
He
the
always
70s.
seemed like a nice dude.
Yeah, he'd was driving in a normal car and fucking waving to people in traffic. She'd see him all the time. When
He always
on her
seemed so
commute to work.
jolly. He always seemed so jolly.
Yeah. She'd see him every now and then on her commute to work because they had the same commuting hours, and she'd see, and he'd be waving to everybody. They'd recognize him. He'd be like, hey. Everybody, Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah, I remember Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah.
Poor Ernest Borgnine, though, because if you're a fan of Mystery Science Theater, you will know that poor Ernest Borgnine was in this terrible, terrible movie. I think it came out in the 80s or maybe the early to mid 90s, called Merlin's Shop of Mystical Wonders.
Yeah.
And he was kind of like, it was like a kind of a frame story. And I think, and I could be totally wrong about this, but I think I remember reading that the frame story was kind of a different, and then the other two stories in the movie were kind of from a different, or at least like the second story was like from a different movie altogether, and they just kind of stuck it in there like to make it feature length. But he's basically like playing this character that's like telling this kid, his grandson or whoever the fuck, these stories about Merlin. And it's like, it's okay. I've seen like way worse movies. Like I said, I'm a Mystery Science Theater fan, so it's like there's been some real fucking woofers on there. So this one is actually at least entertaining. But it's not great. You know what I mean? But it's a fun episode just because there's just so much what the fuckery like in this movie. I tend to like the MST episodes that are like 70s and 80s movies just because there's so much material there like to make fun of. And I tend to like the ones that are, and I think they did too, I tend to like the ones that are just kind of like weird or crazy or like really incompetent, rather than the ones that are just kind of like the 50s sci-fi ones that are just kind of boring. You know what I mean? Some of the 50s sci-fi ones are actually pretty entertaining, but most of them, like I said, it's just like, you know, dudes in lab coats standing around talking like in offices for hours and hours. You know what I mean?
For you gun guys out there, I know I got a few of you out there. You may or may not have heard the news, but today the Department of Justice voluntarily missed their date to file a argument against the ruling of that one court, which basically means that the NFA, or the National Firearms Act, has been going on for damn near 100 years now, that short-barreled rifle or any other weapon designation and sound suppressors are now meaningless. They have to fucking kind of come out and say certain things, but it looks like full auto fire, or in other words, machine guns, still have to be registered, but you don't have to register a short-barreled rifle or a short-barreled shotgun, and you don't have to register what you would call a sound suppressor. And that was really that's a very good ruling. It doesn't matter how long a barrel on a rifle is, because there's no distinction between rifle and pistol anymore anyway. Everyone is eligible to buy either at 18. They struck down that thing where you have to be 21 to buy a pistol, because that's just unconstitutional. A firearm is a firearm is a firearm. If a guy can serve in the military, he can have a pistol if you're legally able. Doesn't really matter how long a barrel on a rifle is. It's just fucking. It doesn't make it more dangerous. It makes it less dangerous because it doesn't have velocity. That's what I look at. And also, sound suppressors are meaningless. Doesn't matter. They are not silent. They do not hide the fact that shots have been fired. That's all Hollywood bullshit. All they do is they make a 9mm. If you suppress a 9mm, it is now as loud as an unsuppressed 32 or 22, and those aren't silent. So there's no reason to register them or to treat them as something different, like a machine gun or like it's something you should just be able to buy, like a scope or any other accessory. They don't hide the fact that shots have been fired. But what they do, man, is that, man, you don't have to wear ear protection, and they make fucking things so much easier to shoot. They just make it just tames everything down. Suppressed 9mm are just little pussycats to shoot. It's like shooting a 22. Really, really sweet. So that's good. They're getting rid of that. They weren't making money anyway because the cost was zero. It's not like they were charging $200 per tax stamp. they got rid of all that. Fucking the cost was $0, not even one. So it was just clogging the system up with fucking paperwork, and nobody cared. It didn't have any impact in the real world. So all my fucking SBRs I can take those fucking stupid fake stocks off to call it a fucking pistol brace, and now you can put a fucking buttstock on it. Now it's not totally elucidated yet, but that's what will happen next. A couple days from now.
Counterlock says, Jenny, Pod People could be the worst movie ever. But MST 3K trashing Pod People is priceless. Pod People is terrible. I will give you that. However, I think of all the movies that I don't even think that's in the converse. I don't even think that's in the 10 worst movies that they ever did. I feel like the worst movie they ever did was either The Castle of Fu Manchu, which had Christopher Lee in it, which you'd think would redeem it. It does not. Or any one of the Coleman Francis movies. Red Zone Cuba, probably. Or The Skydivers. That was also terrible. Those movies make Ed Wood movies. I mean, Ed Wood movies are, like, incompetent, but they're hilarious. I can watch an Ed Wood movie on its own. Because it's just so silly. Like, it's super fun. Because he didn't know what he was doing. Everyone's overacting or underacting, and it's just hysterical, right? Coleman Francis seemed like a mean, hateful asshole who was just kind of like, his movies are just so dark and just, I don't know, bleak, and just nothing happens, and they're just shot really incompetently. Like, the fucking sync sound is all over the place. It's awful. Oh, I will also note, too, that there was a movie that they did called The Blood Waters of Dr. Z, otherwise known as Zat, that was shot in Florida, matter of fact. And that one is also way, way worse than Pod People. Mostly just because nothing happens. Like, most of the time, like, the dude's just, like, shuffling around. You know what I mean? You can tell they were really trying to pad it out, like, to feature length. Because this guy, this tubby weird guy with greasy ass hair who looks like a child molester is just kind of like shuffling all over, like he's turning into a fish man or something, and it takes like a fucking hour and 20 minutes for that to happen, and then he doesn't even look like a fish. It's pretty sad. But yeah, so I think they did way worse ones than Pod People, because Pod People, at least, as stupid as that movie is, at least it has enough stupid shit in it that's funny stupid, you know? Yeah. You could tell it was an E.T. ripoff. Big time. And I don't know if you guys, because I know some of you guys do watch it, but it's like, I don't know if you've seen any of the newer ones, like with Jonah Ray and Felicia Day and stuff. And I know that there was like a big, huge thing. Like, a lot of the old school MST fans were like, I don't like it. It's not the same. You know, the riffing is different. Like, the voices are different and they don't like them. But it's like, they're different, but it's like, I don't know. I kind of dug them. It's a slightly different style, but it was still in the same spirit. And some of the newer ones that they did, like Avalanche and stuff like that, were funny as shit. You know what I mean? I thought. So, you know, I'm not going to be mad. And if you haven't kept up with it, the old school guys, Mike and Kevin and Bill, they did a Kickstarter and raised, how much was it? It was a ridiculous amount, of $2 million. And they're making a whole new season, like, and they're working on it right now, because I see like updates like on their Facebook page, and they got Trace Beaulieu back, Dr. Forrester. They got like pretty much all the original people back. And I don't know how they're going to get them back into space and how they're going to explain it. I don't care. And they've already announced like the movies that they're going to do. So they're going to do like a whole new season, but with the old cast again. So I'm super, super jacked. I don't know how you're going to get it. Like, I don't know if they're going to stream it somewhere, or, because I don't think they do the Gizmoplex anymore. They used to have their own website where you could watch all the things, but I think they shut that down. You know what I mean? Counter Alex said, I laughed out loud when I saw Ian It Stinks Sarah from Pod People in the Horror Gore Fest pieces. I did too. Oh my god. That movie, we'll see, Pod People, I thought it was Italian. Wasn't that an Italian movie?
I've never seen it.
Because I feel like it looked like it was dubbed. So I don't think that was that dude's voice.
I've never seen it.
Well, I think Pieces was also an Italian movie, now that I'm thinking about it. Because it was dubbed into English. But the thing about Pod People is I think that was also like a couple different movies, like kind of cobbled together, you know? Like
Yeah.
I know that the movie that they showed in the credits was a completely different movie. Like it didn't have anything to do with
that level of movie. I only know from like fucking MSD.
Well, yeah, that's what I wouldn't watch.
Tracks.
I wouldn't watch it on its own.
Yeah, and I kind of quickly forget those. I remember Manos Hands of Fate.
Well, yeah, it's hard to forget that one.
We saw that one live. On
the Riff Tracks live, yeah.
That was really good.
Oh my god, that was one of the best theater experiences.
The whole fucking thing.
We saw the Birdemic one in the theater too.
Oh, Birdemic kept me rolling, man.
I think that was like peak. Yeah. We went to the theater for Riff Tracks live.
Oh man, Birdemic, bro.
For the Birdemic one, and holy shit, my face hurt from like laughing so hard.
Yeah,
that movie is so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. And you're in a live audience, everybody laughing at this fucking movie, and they're goofing on it. And the CG, the horrible CG birds.
Yeah.
Just fucking.
You just got from like Adobe Premiere Pro. I don't know. It seems like sub Premiere Pro.
What's the guy's name? What's his name? What?
James Nguyen.
Newman.
Yeah. How do you pronounce that?
I don't know. He's
I think it's.
He's a Filipino guy that doesn't know anything about.
He seems like a nice man, but it's like
he knows nothing about Caucasian dating practices,
or how movies work,
or
how life works.
He thinks if a white guy if a white guy sees a hot white chick, that he follows her home and knocks on her door and says, I saw you down there, and that you're gonna get shot,
or at least maced.
Following some girl home and knocking on her door.
Face full of bear spray.
At the mall, and I decided to follow you, and ask you out on a date.
I'm calling the police.
And then,
rightly so.
Nguyen is his name. Nguyen.
Yeah, it's spelled Nguyen, but that's not how you pronounce it. I think it's just Nguyen.
Nguyen, okay.
Like, or something like that. I've heard it pronounced correctly, but I can't do it right.
And he thinks that dating among white people amounts to a girl sitting on your lap, cross-legged, fucking straddles you.
Yeah, he was like laying on the couch.
Yeah.
And then she was like, and they weren't they had clothes on.
They were just doing that.
They weren't making out.
Every time they show us a white couple together,
I was like,
she's sitting on his lap, reverse cowgirl. Or cowgirl. Sitting on his lap, cowgirl style.
And they weren't even like talking. Or if I remember it correctly, I'm sitting there like, what are they doing?
Yeah. That was his
They're
concept.
just sitting like that, like not talking or making out, or it was just very, very strange.
That was his concept of white intimacy.
I'm like, is this dude an alien?
He's like,
I thought he was an alien.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is really not how anything works.
He had some racial stereotypes based on what his observances. He saw that happen.
It's delightful.
And he decides that's how white people mate.
It's
that's how white people mate.
He's approaching it like David Attenborough, you know what I mean? It's like a fucking nature documentary.
Yeah. He doesn't quite understand.
He's made more than one movie. Riff Tracks did a couple of his other ones. He did one called, I think it was called Replica or something like that. And then he did one that was, it was two people's names, Jack and Judy, or it wasn't Jack and Jill, but it was something like that. Or Steve and Judy, I don't remember what it was. I think it's on Tubi. Like Tubi, if you like Riff Tracks and stuff, Tubi has a fuck ton of Riff Tracks episodes and a bunch of MST episodes too, like a lot of the old classic ones. And they're putting new ones up like all the time. Like Riff Tracks has a YouTube channel also, and they put new shorts and stuff on there. I love the shorts, but they put a new short up pretty much every week. But and sometimes they put like a full ass movie up. But Tubi has a shit ton of full movies that Riff Tracks did. And man, I've like watched almost all of them like over the
Somebody's asking me, so he's like Borat? No, he's not like Borat. He's an Eastern guy with a lot of misconceptions about Western people.
And like I said, and he seems like a lovely human being. He seems like a really nice person. Like when I've seen like interviews with him and stuff, he just doesn't have any idea like how weird the shit that he's making is coming across.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like, we've talked about this before, and it's not exactly the same thing, but it's kind of like Neil Breen's movies.
Yeah. Oh man.
Neil Breen, he should know better.
Yeah. No, he doesn't.
He's more kind of a guy that's like so self-absorbed that every single movie he makes, one, he stars in it, and two, he's always some kind of like amazing Jesus figure.
He's a superhuman savior
or something.
He's a superhuman savior.
And I'm like, that dude's got some issues. He's got to unpack at some point.
And the women in the movies think he's totally sexy.
Yeah. Even though,
no,
not really.
No.
But that's what makes them so hilarious. That's why they're like such great like fodder.
Every one of
because he seems completely delusional.
Every one of Neil Breen's movies is a vanity piece. It's a vanity
with a capital V.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like James Nguyen is more kind of clueless, like and kind of hapless, like but in sort of an adorable way.
He's trying to be a serious director producer, and he's actually has higher goals of like protecting nature, and he throws in all kinds of shit.
There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just kind of like, geez, it's just the way he goes about it is just very strange. But like I said, I don't sense any malice from him. Like Neil Breen seems more like kind of an arrogant asshole who's just kind of forcing it down the throat, like how awesome he is and how everyone should recognize his awesomeness.
I don't see him as an arrogant asshole, really. I see him more as a nerdy guy with
delusions of
grandeur. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. I don't think he's an asshole though. He's seems to be quiet and shy, but
quiet shy people can still be assholes.
He's living a fantasy. He's living out his fantasies in his movies. He's fantasizing that he is these characters, that he can come and save humanity with special powers that only he has. And the women love him for it. He's the second coming of Jesus, quite literally. He's like an alien from another planet.
Big time.
Who can save the planet.
He always plays a character like that.
Or he's an angel that's can't come to Earth.
Yep, he had one like that too.
Like that, yeah.
There was another guy that kind of along those same lines. What the fuck was the name of the guy that made Champagne and Bullets? What was that motherfucker's name? Yeah, we saw it. Well, I haven't seen the whole movie, but I saw it on Brandon Tenold's show. It was the guy that was doing like the country music kind of thing, and he was like doing that dance kind of back and forth. That guy, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
and he had a similar kind of thing where he very clearly like hired like an ex Playboy bunny or something like that to be his girlfriend to like fawn over him
in the movie. Yeah,
and they're like in the hot tub, and there are these pretty graphic like sex scenes in there, and I'm just like, ew, dude, come on.
Yeah, he's paid her for this,
and he's paid her for, and I'm just like, how much it wasn't enough. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, this is a guy with no character. No personal character.
I can't remember what his name is.
He had money. He probably had some kind of construction business or something. Do you remember what it was? Because he was proud of his house. He had video games, stand-up arcade games.
I love that in Champagne and Bullets, there are several scenes that are set in a bar, which is clearly his finished basement where he has his video game collection. Yeah. Awesome video game collection, by the way. Like old school, 80s cabinet video games. He's got a bunch of those, and I'm just like, rad. Yeah. But that is clearly not a bar. That is clearly your house.
Yeah, it's a man cave, yeah.
It doesn't look anything like a bar. Yeah. It looks like a regular ass suburban house.
Yeah.
Either a basement or a spare room or something.
Basement man cave.
Yeah. So it's like pretty funny that he's trying.
It does have a bar, and it's got video games.
Yeah, but a lot of people have bars in there. Yeah, yeah.
And you can see that's the bottom floor of a house. That's the basement of a house.
Yeah, he shot it in his own house.
And yeah,
I was like, nice try.
And he's got no physique, and he's middle aged, but he's taking shots for the cover shots of him fucking in cut off denim fucking jackets with his fucking flabby arms and fucking AR-15s and shit.
What's that motherfucker's
grizzly
name?
Look on his face, like he's all battle hardened. He looks fucking. He's soft as a soup sandwich. Okay, and he's putting himself in this. He's trying to put himself on the same level as Stallone or fucking Arnold or
he thinks he's like an action star.
Yeah, like he's an action hero, and that ain't happening.
I don't understand that level of self-delusion. I just don't. How do you get to that point in your life?
And he's gonna do a musical number in the movie so you can hear him sing, and he can't sing
one of his own original songs, which is terrible.
And he can't perform. He's real fucking stiff.
He's just kind of stepping back and forth.
He can't dance.
In his cowboy boots. I think he had a cowboy hat on too.
Yeah,
if I remember
it's
correctly.
horrible. It's horrible.
It's something.
It is a vanity piece with a capital V.
That's what I said.
And he wasted his money making this fucking movie.
I don't know, man. It's like so many people made fun of it that he might sell. Because there's a ton of people out there.
Is he still alive?
I don't know.
I don't think
There's a ton of people out there that love bad movies. I love bad movies, but I'm not gonna buy a bad. I'll watch it on Rifftrax or MST or whatever. I'll watch people make fun of it, but I'm not gonna pay good hard-earned American dollars to buy that movie and encourage the people that made it.
He didn't make a profit on that movie. I guarantee you, he did not make a profit.
I don't imagine he did.
No.
Maybe he didn't care about that. Maybe he just cared about. He's like, I have a vision, goddammit, and
I'm gonna be in my movie. And he spent that movie on whatever business it was he owned. He did have money. He clearly had money. But that was a dude that didn't come from money. He first generation money, and he wanted some status in the art world and entertainment world, and he wanted to make a movie. He wanted to be in it.
I mean, he did that, I guess.
Yeah.
Go you.
Wasted that money though.
Maybe he doesn't see it that way. I'm not really sure. Maybe we're too hard on that.
Maybe he's just having fun with it. But it was. What's his name again?
I'm trying to think of it. I can't think what his name is. I know the movie is called Champagne and Bullets. He made more than one.
Yeah.
But that was the one I remember because I saw it on Brandon Tenold's show.
It was an excuse to have him on the cover and so he could make out with some Playboy bunnies.
So he could look, I have to pay
hot chicks.
I have to pay hot chicks to make out.
I was in a hot tub with her. Cheeks was kissing me. We're making out. Yeah. My love scene. Okay.
And like I said, there were a couple pretty graphic sex scenes in that.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much he paid her, but it wasn't enough.
A couple grand, I'm sure.
Not enough.
Maybe that girl's on hard times. Just because she's a Playboy bunny doesn't mean she's not up for grabs.
Well, I know that, but it's there comes a point where it's you have to have some self-respect, right? So it's just kind of
some of those girls are escorts anyway.
Man.
Yeah.
She's like, this is gonna be on film.
She probably did it on one day.
This is gonna haunt me for the rest.
She probably did it one day. She probably got $4,000 for it. She probably did it one day, a few hours.
I don't feel bad.
She didn't have to fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I would be shocked if he didn't be like, hey, well, the money that I'm paying you, you have to fuck me anyway.
I don't think so.
And then we'll film it, and maybe they did a little porn sideline. Maybe he also made a porn version.
It would be out there.
It might be. It's not like I ever looked.
It would have been mentioned on MST. They would have known all about it.
They didn't do that on MST. I saw it on Brandon Tenold's show.
Okay, I thought they didn't do that for fucking. They didn't do that for fucking.
Rifftrax. I mean, they might have, but I didn't see it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because
that's right for Rifftrax.
I would be shocked if the thing about Rifftrax is that, if you don't know, that's, Mike and Kevin and Bill from, MST. And occasionally they also have Bridget and Mary Jo. They do some episodes also, which are also funny. But it's just kind of they do so many. There's a fuck ton of free ones on Tubi and on their YouTube channel and stuff like that. But they have a website that has 40 bajillion movies that they've done. And you just pay for the download for the audio track. Yeah. So they don't do, and the cool thing about this, and I think it's genius that they thought of this, business model, is that they're for the shitty movies, they can just pay for the rights to the shitty movies because they don't cost anything, right? And then they can just release the whole thing as a package, with their riffing over it.
Yeah.
But if they want to riff a good movie, like Lord of the Rings, or a less good movie, like Twilight, or Titanic, or something like that, then they can just do the audio track, and then you buy the movie or watch the movie on streaming and just line the audio track up with it. So you can download the audio track for $3 or something like that, and then you use it on your movie. So in that way, they can riff whatever movie they want to. They've done all the Star Wars movies. So they even did good movies. And I don't know how they have time to do all of these, because it's they've done every fucking movie ever made.
They're well researched. They know all the gags and everything.
Holy cow. And because each one, I don't know if they do things the same as they did on the original MST, because what they used to do when they were making the show, for Comedy Central and for Sci-Fi, was that they would pick the movies. They would have to, they'd get a whole big contingent of like VHS tapes of all these shitty movies that were free or that were already in the catalog that they could use. And so then they'd have to sit there and watch all of them, to figure out which ones were going to work and which ones weren't going to work. And then they would have to watch it. And they said they would usually watch it 8 times.
Yeah.
And they would just go through the past, like making jokes and shit like that. And they're like, well, that joke works. That joke doesn't work. And then they would like assign it to different, to Mike or the puppets
they
or
probably
whoever.
got good at it over time.
And then, and I mean, they're comedians, obviously, but it's just like the cool thing about MST is that even though that it's very rehearsed, it doesn't sound rehearsed at all. It just sounds like they're watching the movie for the first time and they're just fucking with it. You know what I mean? But they've watched it like 8 times.
The count said he went on Neil Breen's website to see what his movies cost. Him $35 a movie. Yeah, he's no joke.
Yeah, fuck that.
I went over there. I went there to try to see if he had a collection that I had to buy. I thought he'd be like, yeah, all 5 movies for $20. And I said, yeah, this would be great.
Because that would be funny.
That'd be worth.
Like to get drunk and watch that.
To get drunk and watch that fucking Neil Breen movie.
That would be actually pretty fun.
No, he wants like $35 for each one. He's like selling to you like seriously, like this is fine art. It's real good, but
he could do much better going.
You might be able to find a bootlegs of them somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure somebody has.
Yeah. Bootleg them.
Like I said, I don't understand. The thing about it, though, is I feel like, and we've talked about this distinction before, it's really, really hard to make a bad movie, like a so bad it's good movie, on purpose. It's like really difficult to do that because I feel like it's way better if the person making it thought it was fucking Citizen Kane and then it came out not that. You know what I mean? Like, it's way funnier because it takes itself too seriously. You can tell everybody was thinking they were making some piece of high art and it's just this terrible piece of shit. It's like, that is way, way funnier. So I feel like all the sci-fi original movies and all that kind of stuff, like Sharknado and everything, Sharknado was funny, but it's weird because like when I watched it, I was like, I expected this to be much funnier. It's not as funny as I was expecting it to be. So I feel like those kind of movies, they know that those movies are bad and they're making bad movies on purpose, essentially, because they know there's an audience for those, but they're never as good. They're never as funny. They're never going to be as funny as Plan 9 from Outer Space because Ed Wood thought he was making a good movie. And it came out the complete opposite of a good movie. And that's hilarious. You know what I mean? Because he had no idea what he was doing. And that's like way funnier. If you're making a bad movie on purpose, then it's going to be like wink, wink, and it's going to be kind of ironic. And it's not funny. It's not funny in the same way. The only movie, and we've talked about this at length, the only movie that was like a bad movie on purpose that I really, really liked was The Velocipaster, which I still recommend that movie. That movie had enough genuineness. It got the balance exactly right of like, they knew they were making a bad movie, but they were still taking it seriously, or at least pretending it to take it seriously to an extent where you bought it.
What movie is this?
The Velocipaster. So I think The Velocipaster. Yeah, so I think that's like the only on purpose bad movie that I've seen that's actually like that's just as funny as movies that were supposed to be good but came out bad.
Turbo Kid.
But that wasn't meant to be a bad movie. Turbo Kid was just a good movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be kind of cheesy. It was good though.
Well, there's a difference between leaning into like a cheesy vibe, and making a terrible movie like on the level of like an Ed Wood movie or like The Room or something like that. You know what I mean? If you're just making a cheesy movie, that doesn't necessarily imply that it's like that you're making a bad movie. Those are kind of two different,
I guess so,
distinctions.
That had Ironside in it, didn't it?
Michael Ironside, yeah, I think we reviewed it a long time ago, but you know what I mean. John DeHart, thank you, Count Orlock said that's that guy's name that was in Champagne and Bullets, John DeHart.
John DeHart, yeah.
Now he made other movies, did he not? Like that's really the only one I'm super familiar with because that was the only one that I saw on Brandon Tenold's show. But
it's a must see. Yeah,
it really has to be seen to be believed.
Yeah,
like I said, it's way, way funnier when they think they're making a good movie. And vanity projects are really, really good for that. Yeah. Especially when it's somebody like John DeHart or somebody like Neil Breen, who are clearly just average motherfuckers, but think they're God's gift to the
They
world.
were really trying to become stars.
And it's just so obvious that they are just never going to be that.
Yeah.
And that's just like really funny to me. Like,
They're
cause
trying
it's
to
just,
give funny one-liners like Arnold would do, and they're trying to have little like fucking their own little gags, but it doesn't work because they don't have a huge fandom.
yeah,
But they're pretending like they have a fandom. You can tell they're trying to be known for something.
they're trying to fake it till they make it.
Yeah, they're trying to fake it till they make it.
Count Orlok says, Jenny, have you ever seen a Polonia Brothers movie? Peter Rottentail, Sharkenstein, or Amityville in Space?
We almost
to name
saw
a few.
Shark Side of the Moon.
Shark Side of the Moon. I was kind of tempted to watch that one last night.
That might be good. Shark Side of the Moon. It's when the communists? Was it the communists? The Soviets?
I think there were communists involved. Yeah.
Yeah, the communists fucking took sharks and sent them to the moon during the Cold War, and the moon
remember
is
when
now
that happened?
infested. The moon is infested with these fucking sharks. And I guess they're on the dark side of the moon, the shark side of the moon.
That's why we don't see them.
You don't see them, yeah.
That's why.
That's all we know.
It's all a
It was
conspiracy
a space
theory.
movie, and that the Soviets, the commies, put fucking sharks on the moon. They're waiting.
Okay, like if I get drunker before the end of this show, maybe we'll watch it later.
Shark Side of the Moon, baby.
Well, I was just, like I said, I was scrolling through Tubi last night because I was, looking for another movie to watch. And I was like, dude, Shark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
And, because, shark movies were such a big thing. We even reviewed a movie called Ouija Shark, which again, great premise.
Bad execution.
Bad execution. And
They knew
not,
it was bad.
and not in the way... That's the problem with a lot of these so bad it's good movies, or like, it's like, oh, we'll just make a ridiculous premise. They never go far enough with it.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem.
Budget.
It's like they don't have the budget to make it. They come up with this great idea.
Yeah.
It's like we have an idea. It's like a shark, but it's a ghost that's summoned through a Ouija board. That's great.
Great idea.
That's a great idea. But they didn't have the budget to do it right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't crazy enough.
And here's the thing.
They don't go far enough with it.
They knew that they didn't have the budget to execute it, so they tried to compensate by putting a bunch of like local stripper level
like
chicks
titties and
with titties in it.
Which
they were hot.
Okay, that's fine.
They were like hot local girls at the
no
local
one's going to
strip club,
complain
big
about
fake
boobs,
titties and shit.
but
yeah, it was great. But the whole you could tell that they were trying to get by with that, and even the actresses in there knew, hey, we're gonna get by with titties because we can't. You could tell
look, we're washing the car.
Yeah,
my shirt's getting all wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that kind of shit.
It was
funny, but like it's not that funny. More Ouija Shark.
The Ouija Shark, the Ouija Shark graphics or the CG wasn't good enough.
Well, even if you couldn't afford good CG, lean into that.
Yeah.
Like I said, up the ante, make it ridiculous. That's what Velocipaster did.
But Velocipaster had good writing.
That's what I'm saying.
And
it's just kind of like, if you know you don't
Ouija
have the
Shark
money, like Velocipaster was clearly just a dude in a dinosaur suit, but they went with it.
They even brought in kung fu movies, 80s kung fu.
Yeah, they put kung
games.
fu in there, ninjas.
Yeah,
there was ninjas in it.
Yeah,
it was fabulous. Yeah. But like I said, they use the low budget to their advantage because, like I said, a lot of these people are just like making movies and are just like, oh, we heard that you can make a so bad it's good movie, and people will talk about it. But like I said, I think the major problem, the major mistake that they make is not that they don't have enough money, but it's just that they don't take the premise far enough.
Yeah, and with Velocipaster, the premise was, they took the premise far enough, but it had good writing. It was good. It was good storytelling, and that was the problem with Ouija Shark. There wasn't good storytelling,
and a lot of it was just clearly filler.
It was just a filler. Yeah,
and like I said, it seemed like such a shame because I was like, man, what a great idea.
Yeah,
like. For a stupid movie, that's a great idea.
There was a movie that we saw. We reviewed it here in our early years. I loved it. Had no special effects at all. And I gave it like 2 thumbs up. And the director, the dude that made it, and the people that produced it fucking commented saying that and I don't remember the name of it, but there's a thing. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And it was about rednecks in trailer parks with some kind of a drug that was kind of like fucking them up. It was like meth. But it was also like demonic possession at the same time. Remember that?
Oh, I think I remember what you're talking about. I can't remember what the name of it is either.
And it was done with all practical effects.
Yeah, that's right.
But it worked because it had good storytelling. And it was good writing. It was low budget.
Yeah,
but that didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because it was a good story, good driving story. And they did things and you knew they were winking at you like, oh, you've seen this movie before, because they were like homage and shit.
Yeah.
And they were doing that. And they were doing like horror tropes. But it wasn't like they were effacing their own product, though. They were honoring other product. They knew that you knew what it was.
It's a fine line.
It's a very fine line.
Because I kind of feel like I really don't like, and I think this is kind of why, and I talked about this a little bit on my History of Horror Movies video, where I think one of the things I didn't like about horror movies starting in the 90s was that they went kind of ironic and like self-aware. Like, we're not really supposed to take this seriously. Haha. You know what I mean? And they're like winking at you, and I don't really like that. It can be done well. Like, I loved Scream, but I kind of feel like Scream has a lot of has to take a lot of blame for that, because a lot of the movies that ripped Scream off didn't do it right. Like, they didn't really do it the same. And so then I feel like a lot of the horror movies that came after that were just kind of like, hey, look how clever we are. We're just like making jokes about, hey, we're referring to this horror movie. And it's like, especially like the whole Scary Movie like parody series, which were just fucking completely witless and stupid, and it's like I couldn't even watch any of those. It's just kind of like they were just a bunch of stupid scenes, like, you know, kind of lamely put together. It's like, look, we're talking about Silence of the Lambs, and it's like, look, we're stabbing this girl's fake titty and it deflated. That's hilarious. And it's just kind of like, it's really not hilarious, okay? Yeah. It's just, you gotta work harder than that. Yeah. You know what I mean? To make me laugh. Find that, it was like in our first couple years of the show. Yeah, we gotta look back on that. I remember what you're talking about, but I can't remember what the name of it is.
Because, like I said, the director thanked us and said that we're glad that we enjoyed it, that we got the movie. And I was like, I'd like to see some more from this. And I'd like to see more from this guy. And it was like a cheap movie, maybe $20,000 movie. That
yeah,
cheap.
Maybe.
But it looked good, and it was a good story, and it got the job done.
I mean, writing is a huge,
and it was the writing,
huge, and I feel like that's the part that a lot of people neglect.
Yeah, and the acting wasn't bad. The acting was good, and and the acting all matched the tone of the movie, and it was supposed to be a fun, good B movie from the '80s.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
And they did it right.
I like a good bad movie.
Yeah,
but like I said, it's got to be a good idea, a good premise. It's got to just be entertaining. And I really don't like ones that are kind of like ironic and winking at me. Yeah, that's why I don't really like, the Sharknadoes and like Lavalantula and all that kind of crazy shit. Like, yeah, hilarious. Like, I feel like the names of them are the funniest thing about them. Yeah. Because then, like, you watch them and you're just like, nah, that wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be.
Big Ass Spider was pretty good.
Okay, I did like Big Ass Spider.
Big Ass Spider was pretty good.
I did like Big Ass Spider.
Some of them could be good.
It's just harder. It's harder to do.
Nazis at the Center of the Earth.
That's also great.
I own that bitch on Blu-ray. And
that's also great.
That is an asylum picture. Yeah.
That movie, I loved that movie. Yeah. That was so good.
That's a good movie. Yeah.
It was so fun.
And it is true to Nazi science fiction lore. They talk about vril saucers and fucking
they didn't even exaggerate
Hollow
really.
Earth and everything that all the
I think we reviewed that too.
When people think of the Germans in World War II, they think of these Nazis and they think of these Nazis fucking fighting these wars. They don't realize that those Nazis read science fiction.
Yeah, they had all kinds of crazy
had their own
fucking ideas.
A lot of the shit about the Nazis was based on the science fiction type shit they were reading.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whoever wrote fucking Nazis at the Center of the Earth read that science fiction.
Was real into that kind of stuff, you could tell.
Yeah, because not only is it a movie
That's what was
about
so
Nazis
funny about it.
at the center of the Earth, all the premises were from the fucking sci-fi that Nazis fucking read.
Yeah, like the whole
vril
and the whole thing about the Hollow Earth, which goes back like hundreds of years.
Yeah,
and it's just like, whoever wrote this movie like knew their shit,
knew new German sci-fi.
Yeah. It's like, that's what I liked about it.
Anything involving those old British movies involving U-boats that come out and they go underneath the earth, they're in the hollow earth, and it's all fucking dinosaurs and shit. What was that? Fucking The Land That Time Forgot.
Yeah.
That's all German sci-fi. Hollow Earth.
That was the one with Peter Cushing and Doug McClure, right?
I think so. Yeah.
The one where they took the rocket and like went, and then and Caroline Munro was in it.
Yeah. Caroline Munro was in it.
Yeah.
There was two of them. And the second one had Tor Johnson in it. He was playing
Yeah.
barbarian king and with the evil samurais
Tor
with the head, the skull faces and shit. They're
Time
pretty
for it
cool.
to go to bed. All Seeing Pie says
it was called The Land of the Time Forgotten, People of the Land of the Time Forgot, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Two of
All Seeing Pie said Cookers is the movie. Was that what it was called?
Cookers, it might be.
I'd have to go back and check. Like, that doesn't sound
right.
familiar, but it was a long time ago that we reviewed it. So that very well could be it.
That's probably it.
Tom Baker says, when I was talking about the 90s movies, he said it was worse past 2000. I agree. I feel like 2000s, the early to mid 2000s, that's when all that remake bullshit came in. Like, let's remake every Asian movie that people liked. Let's remake this and that. They remade everything, and it was just kind of like, that's really the only thing. I think, yes, some good movies came out in the early to mid 2000s, but not that many. And Tom Baker says the last good horror movie of the 90s, Stir of Echoes. Yeah. I've talked about Stir of Echoes a lot. If you haven't seen Stir of Echoes, please fucking watch it, because I think I've mentioned this before. What happened to that poor neglected movie was that it came out the same, I think it was the same week as what's the M. Night Shyamalan movie? The Sixth Sense. Because I seem to remember, because I saw it in the theater. I saw both of them in the theater. I seem to remember seeing both of them in the theater like within a few days of each other. You know what I mean? So they were out at the same time. And The Sixth Sense was a huge fucking hit. Everybody remembers. I think it was the second highest grossing movie of that year, which was 1999, if I remember correctly. And Stir of Echoes kind of got forgotten about, but it's so good. And I would even put forward the perhaps controversial opinion that I think Stir of Echoes is a better movie than The Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense is great too. I really do like The Sixth Sense, but I think Stir of Echoes might be a better movie. It's based on a Richard Matheson novella from the 50s. If you are interested, over on my other YouTube channel, which is called The Scare Salon, I did a very, very long, extensive breakdown of the differences between the novel and the movie. So if you're kind of interested, because the novella is a lot different than the movie. The core story is the same, but everything around it, including the kind of murder mystery at the center of it, is different. So, but it's kind of interesting. I like both, but for different reasons. And honestly, I think the movie, I don't know if this is really, I think the movie is better just because it's more focused. Like I said, I go more into it on that video. Like, I get ridiculously detailed about it. The book is good, but it's kind of scattershot. You know what I mean? It has a different purpose, I guess. Like thematically, it's like slightly different. It is a murder mystery, but it has kind of a slightly wider scope. But the movie kind of pares everything down to like just the one thing. And honestly, it's super creepy. I saw it in the theater and it scared the shit out of me. And that was, you know what I mean? And movies don't scare the shit out of me, but that one got me, like back in the 90s. And Kevin Bacon is in it. I love him. And he just plays like a really good kind of down to earth working class kind of guy who basically the premise of it, he gets hypnotized just for shits and giggles by his sister-in-law, like at a party. And then after that, he starts having visions of this girl that looks like she's getting murdered, and they won't like leave him alone. So he starts to try to figure out like who this girl is and what happened to her and all this other kind of shit. And it's it's such a good movie.
I think Cookers is the name of that movie.
It might be.
Because they had to cook this drug up.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they take it, and it was like something almost kind of contagious. And it was kind of like demonic possession at the same time. I don't remember. I'd have to see it again, but I remember enjoying. Excuse me, I'm hiccuping. I remember enjoying it. Was you getting another one?
Yeah, I'm empty. Right. It's Friday. I haven't drank all week.
Yeah, me neither.
See, because we used to drink on the Monday night show, like the movie review, and the Wednesday night show. But I just kind of stopped doing that because, like I said, since I started taking the GLP, it works, I'm going to say, but it does kind of fuck with your pancreas and shit like that a little bit. And so alcohol exacerbates that. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to cut the drinking in half. I don't really need to drink on Monday and I don't need to drink on Wednesday, but I'm not going to stop drinking because fuck that. But it's just like, it's like I can just put it to, I can drink on the Friday night show and we drink when we go out, like dancing on Saturday night. But I said, I'm just not going to drink the rest of the time. I said, it'll save us a lot of money too because we don't have to buy fucking vodka every week. You know what I mean? So far, it's been working out pretty good. Count Orlock says Polonia has done a bunch of shark and Amityville movies, but I just read they got one called Jurassic Exorcist. Yeah, I kind of feel like the shark movies and the Amityville movies, I feel like every like 2-bit studio, because of the whole shark thing, everybody wanted to make a shark, and they're just like, what's the silliest crossover we can think of? You know what I mean? And then please tell me, because when we were scrolling through Tubi last night and they had one called Shark Side of the Moon, I'm like, okay, that's pretty hilarious. Might have to watch that one. Even though I'm sure it's going to disappoint me. I'm sure it's not going to be as funny as I'm imagining it. But I said, please tell me that someone has made Raiders of the Lost Shark. I mean, I would be shocked.
Raiders of the Lost Shark.
I would be shocked if somebody hasn't made that. Because think of how many words rhyme with shark and have those words in their movie titles. It's limitless. You could make like pretty much anything and just insert sharks. And it's funny. Maybe. Probably not. You know what I mean?
You have to see sharks.
The titles are funny anyway. But like I said, that's kind of the whole issue I have with So Bad It's Good on Purpose movies, is that a lot of times the title and the premise and the poster are like way better than the movie ends up being. A lot of the times I'll watch the movie and I'll just be like, like it could have been so much funnier. Like you could have done this and you could have done that. Like you could have just gone crazy with it.
What's the name of the studio that did Sharknado and all that? Fucking
Asylum?
Asylum, yeah. Funny thing about Asylum.
Count Orlock says, yes, Raiders of the Lost Shark is a movie. I have it.
Okay.
I was like, I'd be shocked if that wasn't an actual movie.
Funny thing about Asylum Studios is that they have the best looking girls and like some of the best looking dudes in fucking those.
Yeah, they're like ridiculously like model type looking people.
And because those people, I think they kind of got cast out of Hollywood because people don't look like you. We need people that look like shitty people.
Well,
everybody else got to look like regular.
Well, I'm going to kind of defend that because
they used to look good. Actresses and actors used to look fucking good, man.
But there were always character actors and character, and I kind of feel like I'm going to kind of defend it a little bit because I will say one thing I like about British movies is that even though a lot of their actors and actresses are, of course, ridiculously good looking, they do tend to put more just like regular looking people in their movies, which in a lot of ways makes their movies a lot more believable and a lot more grounded because most of the people in the movies just look like regular ass people. They don't look, they don't have cap teeth and plastic surgery and all this other stuff.
There's certain kinds of movies.
It depends on what kind of movie it is.
Yeah, there's certain kind of movies where you don't want realism, where you want idealism, and it works real well. I think it's funny. Foreign reactions to some of American movies. Like, you know what happened? There was Chinese feedback. There was one channel was doing funny Chinese feedback on the Chinese review channels. There was a Chinese person who could read Mandarin and was reading the reviews of fucking what people were saying, what the Chinese were saying about the new Star Wars movies. And I think it was like The Last Jedi or, what was the middle one? But the middle one wasn't The Last Jedi, was it?
No, that was,
Force Awakens.
No, Force Awakens was the first one.
And then the second one was, it's just about the second one. Not the last one, I think, was The Last Jedi, I think. I don't know, they were shit. But a lot of the Chinese fucking comments were like, I paid good money to see this movie and everybody was ugly in it. You got this ugly old man, these ugly fucking, aren't there any good looking people in America type of deal. And so the way the Chinese were interpreting film is very different from the way Americans would interpret film. They don't know who fucking Mark Hamill is. They don't know who these people are. They're just like these old ugly people and ugly. I paid good money for the movie.
So
I
it's like
see good-looking white people.
Well, why don't you
Yeah.
just buy some videos with like hot models in it and just turn the volume down and not worry about it?
The
then?
Chinese concept of what a top budget movie is idealism, not which is fucking a whole bunch of fucking special effects, violence, funny stuff, a love story in it, and really hot people.
I can't get behind that.
That's well, their tastes are more kind of like something out of what you would find in the United States, like in the 1950s.
Yeah, I get that.
That's what they're.
Well, and to be fair, like even a lot of people nowadays have those kind of tastes. That's a very mainstream, you know, big tentpole kind of movie kind of taste. But I've never liked those. I mean, some of them are good. I'm not
because you've
shitting
seen
on the
so
whole...
many movies.
Yeah, and it's
also,
just, you know,
you're not as poor as these people, so the thinking isn't the same. They're like, I spent money for this ticket, so you better give me something in return. I better see some shit. I better see some good looking people, shit that I can't see here
in real life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of get that.
In real
but...
life, I'm seeing. Remember how the silver screen era was? It was just idealism because of people trying to run from poverty. That's what I get. That a lot of people are like that in the world. It's an escapism.
And there's an argument to be made for that too.
I totally understand it. Yeah.
But I'm just saying there's room for all kinds of movies. Like I don't have a... I'm not going to say, oh, nobody should make escapist movies. You have artistic
tastes, and I have developed tastes, and I like some fucking weird shit too.
I mean, I like escapist movies too, but I like all kind. But
we're
movies.
Not really going to the theater all the time, paying money, and they can only afford to see one movie a week, or maybe like 1 or 2 movies a month. You know.
I mean, so I pay for streaming services, and I pay to rent them.
Another thing is the average person on a fucking global level, they're not filmies. They're not well versed in film. They're simpletons, so they want the very basics met.
I mean, that's kind of true everywhere.
They want the very, very basics met. India's like that. Bollywood movies are all the fucking same. Or absolutely gorgeous women, goofy dudes. One dude who's hot. They have to have some kind of musical number where they fucking sing and dance in it. Even though this shit is a fucking murder story, why are you singing and dancing? It's because in India
it's like a serial killer, and then all of a sudden, wait a second, y'all, we got to do like this whole musical
like what the
number.
fuck is this? And it's because in India their theatrical traditions are different.
Which that's just a cultural difference. But some people over here like Bollywood movies. I can't really get into them.
Going to the movies involve your whole family. It's you, your wife, your grandma, your granddad, your dad's there, your nephews, your kids. Everybody's there to see this fucking movie, and they can't agree on what movie to see. So the movie has to have something for everybody. So you got a romance for the girls. You got singing and dancing for the old lady. You got a murder mystery going on for the young guys. You got fucking big titties bouncing for the teenagers. And they're trying to pack this shit into one movie. It's trying to be everything for
It doesn't make any sense.
For 3 generations of the fucking family.
I see.
That's what they're doing. So
it's just a practical consideration,
right? So you can't show them, like a movie that we would get off on. Like they'd be like, "What the fuck?" You can't take them to go see Vivarium
or like Zodiac or something.
Yeah, they're just be like, "What?" Extra-dimensional fucking parasites that make you raise their children. What the fuck is this? Where's the music? Where's the musical scene? Where's the romance?
Where's the tits? Where's the hot people?
Yeah, why? Grandma's unhappy. There wasn't a musical scene.
Grandma's unhappy. We can't have that. Mm-hmm. I'm not taking grandma to the movie.
Yeah. 3 generations of the family come.
My grandma was actually pretty cool. Actually, both my grandmas were pretty cool. They both passed away now, sadly, but
that's why old Chinese movies from the 60s were so schizophrenic, because that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah, like I get that. I get where
things fucking going on.
But I'm also of the opinion, and I get that this is a cultural difference, but I'm also in the opinion if you're trying to please everybody, you please nobody.
No one. Yeah.
That's kind of
right.
What I've learned throughout my life.
But on the global level, the Indian, the Chinese audience that you're talking about, nothing that would please you would please them. And
I imagine
the thing that doesn't please you because it's trying to please everybody, it's all like a happy medium. It's okay, yeah, well, we're gonna live with that. They're gonna live with mediocrity.
Sure, because it's like, hey, we're making $1 billion. So we're not crying about it.
What sold well, both in the United States and China, was fucking the Meg, the one about Megalodon. We saw it in the theater. It was great.
Okay, now I liked the Meg.
Great. Yeah. And if you look at the Meg did that. It had something.
Was there
for
a musical
everybody.
number in the Meg? No.
There wasn't musical in it, but I think there was music in it.
Yeah, but not like they didn't all stop like
they
and
didn't
start
stop and put on musical. Right? They didn't. Do that.
Singing "Summer Lovin'" or
It is
anything.
because it was for China.
Sure.
And
Well,
America.
yeah, I know.
If it had been for India, there would have been a musical number in that bitch.
No, we have to put it.
They'd
We have to cram this in here somehow.
Stop a shark. Hold on. Okay, then they
Stop
start
the
line
shark.
dancing, and then they're singing to the shark.
Calm down, Meg.
shit
We're gonna
like that. Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
if we
that's what-
sing
that's
to
what
it,
would
it will
happen.
calm the shark down.
Right.
Like they try to like fucking put in a
Yeah.
justification somehow.
But the Meg evidently fucking China loved it.
That
and
was based on a book. Did you know that?
I didn't know. And they pretty much got the same version we got.
Yeah.
And
I did like that, and I don't usually like big spectacle temple movies like that, but
entertaining.
I really liked that.
It was
it was
entertaining.
very entertaining.
It was entertaining. And you had Jason Statham in his late 40s. Motherfucker was just looking shredded. All right, he looked great. The older hot Chinese scientist chick who was checking him out while he was fucking nude in the shower. Okay,
It's like,
which they like that even in China. That was what they would consider that to be spicy as fuck in China.
they're like, yeah, we
They
would
were, like,
also
very
check
spicy.
out
Yeah.
Jason Statham's booty.
And then there was all the fucking. Remember the Chinese tourist chicks that were fucking constantly. They were like the comedic relief whenever the shark was eating the Chinese middle-aged tourist chicks. They would show them with
That's
showing
right.
off their wealth and shit.
I don't remember a lot.
There was a
about
lot
it,
of
but-
funny comedy in it,
Yeah,
and some of it
I
was.
mean, it
like,
wasn't gut busting, but it was
No.
like amusing.
But
you
they
know?
were. It was the Chinese poking fun at themselves and their tourists.
Right,
And shit.
yeah.
It was great. I thought
So
it was-
yeah, for like a mid, like crowd pleasing kind of movie,
Yeah.
which like I said, I'm not usually into those. But we saw that in the theater. I think like on our AMC, like when we had the
has
thing where
something
you could
for
see
everybody.
3 or 4 movies a week.
Yeah.
Going into it knowing that it was that,
Yeah.
it was a good example of that because
Yeah.
it was entertaining. I wasn't bored or pissed off at any point.
It was funny.
And it was, it was funny. It was entertaining.
It
It had
big fucking shark and
sure.
and it had some suspense and it had
So
it had some elements that not
it
scared
can
for
be
me and
done.
Jimmy
I mean,
to do
no
it.
one's gonna like. It's not never gonna win an Oscar, and no one's ever gonna like write an essay about it or anything like that. But maybe. But
What
that's
was
okay.
funny- what was funny
All
is
movies don't have to be like that.
What I thought was funny is that it was mostly for China.
It was, yeah.
And
A lot of big tentpole movies are,
yeah,
or at least they're
in
made.
that era. Yeah.
At least they're made, even nowadays, at least they're made with the assumption that it's also going to be released in China and other big
Yeah.
markets around the world. So it's like, we're going to make it with, the least offensive stuff in it that will, that's as broadly appealing
Yeah, and they had a
to
bunch
global audiences
and,
as possible.
And they had a bunch of Chinese actors and actresses in it, with American ones. I don't think they do this anymore. I think that arrangement's gone with the studios, and I think the Chinese had a slightly different edit, but it was still the same movie,
Yeah.
and it did extremely well in China, and they thought it was going to bomb here, but it did well here.
Yeah.
It came out in a time where there wasn't much competition. The other movies didn't do well against it, and it was like #1 at the box office when it was out.
Yeah, like I said, it was just a fun,
It was just
turn
lighthearted,
your
fun.
brain off kind of. And sometimes that's what you want,
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not, my tastes run toward more weirder shit, but I'm not a snob, though. Like, I will watch shitty movies as quickly as I watch good ones, but they have to be shitty in a particular way.
The count says Meg 3 is in production.
Yeah, I heard.
I'd see it. I think I saw the second one and it was pretty good.
I think we saw the second one.
It was okay.
We might have seen the second one in the theater. Now that I'm thinking about it, we might have reviewed it.
I think we saw both of them. Oh
I-
no! The one I'm talking about was Meg 2, wasn't it? No,
We saw both. I'm pretty
We
sure
saw both. We saw
both
both.
of them.
we saw both. But the one with Jason Statham, I think was the first one, right?
Was Jason Statham in the second one too?
Jason Statham was in the one that I saw. And I think it was just the Meg.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if we saw the
I
second
don't
one
think we
in
saw
the
the second
theater or if we watched it on streaming, or I'd have to go back and look. Like, we've seen so many movies
Yeah,
and
somebody mentioned
reviewed
that
so many movies.
that the Meg was kind of by the numbers. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
by the numbers.
Exactly.
But there was something kind of comforting about it in the way that a McDonald's fucking Big Mac is comforting. It's not
Yeah,
kind of-
that's
it's just-
exactly, that's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes it's like, sometimes you want some actual food, But sometimes you
just
want a
that
Big
fucking
Mac.
Big Mac, yeah.
Because you know exactly what that's going to taste like.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like a burger you make at home.
Yeah.
Or even like a burger from like an actual restaurant.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's not what you want.
It's damn near out of a vending machine, but that's what you wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
So, although I would argue that the Quarter Pounder is the superior burger from McDonald's.
The double Quarter Pounder is good too. I'll get.
Well,
that
yeah,
also.
I can't eat the whole thing, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It just, like I said, it just depends on what you want, and I'm not a snob about it. It's just kind of like I'm not. Even when I was a kid, I wasn't real into big blockbuster movies, big spectacle movies. It's not my thing. But some of them are very good. And I'm not going to be an asshole about it. Like if somebody tells me, like look what happened with like recently Project Hail Mary, and like everyone was talking about that movie and how good that was. We watched, that was great. That was great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was kind of a big budget, kind of crowd pleasing kind of movie. But you know, I thought it was pretty fucking fantastic. Now I haven't read the book, so I don't know about that, but I've heard, like, from what I've heard from people that read the book and watched the movie, they thought they liked the movie better because the book is kind of more, goes more into like hardcore science stuff, and it's kind of drier, and the movie was like more entertaining. But you know what I mean? So I'm not averse to it. It's just not usually what I would pick.
It's not a high art. But no, look, but I gotta fucking reverse that. There's something about making a tentpole movie by the numbers, like we were talking about. There's a certain art to that.
There is. There's an art to everything. Really.
Yeah. And there are some of them out there probably the best one would probably be fucking Jurassic Park, the very first one. That was pretty much by the numbers, and just kind of like your classic tentpole movie. You could say that Terminator 2 was that also. But some people say that that's the best action movie of all times. I fucking would disagree with that. I didn't like Terminator 2 very much. I didn't like anything other than Terminator 1. The rest of the Terminator series, I thought it was very mediocre. And Terminator 2 didn't really work for me. I liked Terminator 1, and it was damn near like a horror movie. I like that one. I wouldn't have fucking done 2. I would have never fucking revisited Terminator. I'd have let 1 just stay. There's something about fucking Aliens. Alien 2, there's something about that's a very difficult movie to beat. Although I wouldn't call that a tentpole movie because that's kind of a fucking action horror movie.
Which one?
Aliens.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call that a tentpole.
It's not really a tentpole movie. It's just a great movie. One of the best sequels of all times.
Yeah, even though I prefer the first Alien, because it's more a pure horror movie, whereas Aliens is more like action horror.
But it expanded it.
But
yeah, it was good.
I mean, I would argue Aliens probably the best sequel ever made. At least the best horror sequel ever made. For sure.
Definitely.
And I know a lot of people like it more than Alien, and I'm not arguing with you about that. I'm just saying I slightly prefer Alien because it's more a horror movie, whereas, you know, the second one is more an action horror.
Although I was hearing about the original script of Alien and the stuff that got cut, it would have been an even better movie. There's a lot of errors in it of continuity. You don't notice it though.
Well, yeah, then
because a couple scenes got cut out.
Yeah. Well, that happens.
That really should have been in there.
That happens with a lot of movies.
Remember when Ripley is fighting the android?
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
In the first movie, are we talking about?
In the first movie.
Okay.
She has a nosebleed. You're like, how'd that nosebleed happen? Because that android hadn't hit her. I think it pulled her hair. There was another scene that got cut out. She got attacked by the alien. And the alien fucking was coming at her and she shut a door. And the alien's hand got cut in the door and cut the hand off. Or the arm on it. But the acid ate a hole through the door and there was decompression had happened. and she got slightly decompressed, which fucking caused her to have
Oh,
a
okay, I got you.
nosebleed. But then emergency bulkheads started to fucking seal off, and she ran. And they had a whole meeting. They're saying that the alien was now outside the ship trying to get back in. I think what it was in the vacuum of space, and they were trying to do what they could to like keep it out, if I remember correctly. And they had a meeting and a plan, and then after they had that meeting, the robot attacked her.
Okay.
And then the alien found its way back into the ship. That's I may have it slightly wrong, but it had to do with decompression, and she blasted it out the airlock already, basically.
Yeah.
And then in the end, when she blasted out, she did that already. But they cut that scene out.
Well, that's probably why they took it out, because it's like, well, we don't want it to happen like again, because people are like, oh, she did the same thing again. You know what I mean? I get it. Tom Baker says, I liked Exorcist 3. My favorite besides Exorcist 1973.
3 was good. Yeah.
Exorcist 3 is a fucking awesome movie. I would argue Exorcist 2, The Heretic, was terrible. Okay? Yeah. And I kind of feel like, I don't even think that's a controversial opinion. It was terrible.
What's funny about Exorcist 3 is the good shit in it got shoehorned in there.
The Exorcist 3, I feel like that is kind of like, you know what? I don't even know if I'd call that a sequel exactly. I mean, it kind of is. But the best thing they did was, one, they said, you know what? We're going to pretend Exorcist 2 didn't happen. Yeah. Wise decision. And we're going to kind of take it almost into a different genre, because it's still a horror movie, but it's more like a police procedural. Yeah. But with supernatural elements. So it almost goes into like, so it's like a standalone. You don't actually have to have seen the first Exorcist. I mean, obviously you need to see the first Exorcist, because come on, what are you doing? But you don't actually need to have seen the first Exorcist.
Brad Dourif killed it.
Man.
Brad Dourif killed it that scene.
I love Brad Dourif. Yeah, he's a national treasure.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was so great. Man, that fucking scene of him, like when he's in the thing and he's talking to fucking George C. Scott. It's just like that first scene of them like interacting in the cell, and it's just like, man, it's so good. And like I said, it helps if you've seen the first Exorcist, because, Father Karras and everything, and it does have some continuity with the first one, but you don't need to have seen it. And I would argue that Exorcist 3 has one of the best fucking jump scares in all of horror. And I don't like jump scares unless they're really done well. And man, this one, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Because it's just kind of, it takes its time. It's just kind of like, they shoot it from way down the hallway, and it's just like, it just goes on, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. And then like, you don't expect it. It just like comes out of nowhere. So, so good. That and like the old lady crawling on the ceiling. Holy shit. What a great fucking movie. That's a great fucking movie. And like I said, you don't even need to have seen the first one. It's a complete standalone. It helps, but because it does have some, some of the characters that are in it were in the first one, but played by different actors. But, it's just, so I kind of feel like that's not even, I think I talked about this. If you've never seen, I did a very, very long, probably 2.5 hours or something like that, video a couple years ago. Did like the history of horror. It took me like forever to do, because I've been wanting to do it like forever, but like I said, it took me like a really long time to do it, because I wanted to like not fuck it up. And so I did that, and I think I talked a little bit about Exorcist 3 in it, because I was talking about how much I really didn't like kind of the glut of sequels and remakes and stuff like that came out in the 90s and the 2000s, which made those 2 decades like my least favorite, like in terms of horror movies that came out. But I said, out of all the sequels, like Exorcist 3 is kind of like a special case, because even though technically it's a sequel to the first one, it didn't really need to be, because it was a slightly different genre. It went in a completely different direction with it, and it could just stand on its own. It didn't really need the first movie. And I think that was like the best thing they could have ever done. I don't really remember like what the reception of it was like at the time, But I kind of feel like nowadays, like most horror fans that I know of are just kind of like, man, they fucking love that movie, and rightly so. I feel like at the time it maybe got some sort of good reviews, but I feel like its reputation kind of built up over the years, which happens a lot. Camp Guy says old ladies crawling around or levitating is one of my nightmares. Floating around in old wooden beds and laughing at me. I will submit that in the first Exorcist movie, which I still think is one of the scariest movies ever made. I don't know if that's because I'm old and I saw it when I was a kid. I don't know if it hits the same as people that are not old. But for all of the shit that happens in that movie that's kind of more ostentatious, like, the head spinning around and the vomit and everything like that, to me, the scariest shit in that movie, the two scariest scenes in that movie are the scene where Linda Blair comes down the stairs and she's talking to that, when her mom is like having the party, and she comes down the stairs and that guy that's there and he's the astronaut, and she's standing on the carpet and she says, "You're gonna die up there," and then she like pees herself. Oh, that freaked me the fuck out. Like, that scene is scary. And the scene where Father Karras is imagining or dreaming that his mom is like coming up the steps from the subway, and also the scene where she's like sitting in the bed, and also when Linda Blair is like talking in his mother's voice. Ooh, that freaks me the fuck out.
What'd you do to me, Damian? Why, Damian?
Oh, that freaks me out. So, like, to me, and I've talked about this at length, like on some of my other videos and on my Scare Salon videos. I don't have any idea why some of the shit that scares me. One of the things that freaks me out in movies a lot, and I don't know why, is characters talking in other people's voices, or talking in a voice that's not obviously their own voice. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really know why. I've tried to examine it. I was like, why does that bother me so much? And I'm trying to think of like all these fucking, the scene in The Others with Nicole Kidman, where Nicole Kidman, and she thinks it's her daughter, and like she turns into this old lady. What are you talking about? I am your daughter. And it's her daughter's voice, but it's an old lady. Oh, that fucking freaked me out too. And like that scene in, this is not a horror movie, but Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where Judge Doom, played by the same dude that played Doc Brown.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Do you remember me when I was your brother?" He's like, "I talk just like this." And it's like, oh, that scares me. I don't know why. It's just like, it freaks me out so much.
His name's Christopher.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
And it's like,
he played a great Klingon too. He played Karg.
I saw Who Framed Roger Rabbit in the theater, and like that movie came out when I was probably still a teenager when that came out, and I remember I went to see it with my whole family, and my little brother Brian was still he was a toddler at that time. He was only 2 or 3, because I think that movie came out in the late 80s and he was born in 86. That part in Who Framed Roger Rabbit where Judge Doom takes that little cartoon shoe and puts him in the dip.
Yeah. It's good.
My little brother, he had little diapers. He was still in diapers.
Yeah.
He noped out of the theater. He jumped out of his seat and ran up the fucking aisle. My mom had to chase him. Yeah. He was like, "Nope." And I was just, I still remember that to this day.
Yeah, he ran.
I wonder if Brian remembers that. He's in his 30s now. But it's like, I thought that was so fucking funny. He was just like, I get it. I mean, that was a horrifying fucking scene.
Yeah,
I feel
put
like
him in acetone, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he killed him.
Yeah, it would dissolve.
Because that was how he dissolved the
film.
tunes.
Yeah, like he would dissolve film.
Yeah.
I think it was acetone.
He called it the dip.
Yeah.
And he picked up this little shoe and it had eyes and it was like, no. And it was like screaming and stuff. Yeah. I was also kind of traumatized. Yeah. And I was a teenager at that time. But my little brother, who was 2 or 3, he was not having it. He just popped out of the seat in his little shirt and his little diaper, and he just went trucking right up the fucking aisle and out the door.
I have seen clips of that recently. Of that scene. Some people reacting to fucking Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And Jessica Rabbit is not drawn as well as I remembered her based upon like the way people would draw her today.
Well, it was from the 80s. So it's just like, we don't have the technology. I
Yeah.
mean, looking
She's
back
very
on it
vague, you know what I mean?
from the 80s, that was a huge
Yeah.
leap forward in special effects because it's like it was mostly live action, but then there was animation like
Yeah.
integrated into it.
Yeah.
And the weird thing about that, man, I feel like I should do a book versus movie on Who Framed Roger Rabbit because the book, which is not called Who Framed Roger, it's called Who Did Something Else to Roger Rabbit. But the book is way, way different, like way darker, and is like not for children.
Yeah.
In any, I mean, I would argue that maybe the movie isn't for children either. It's not really a kids movie, even though it's animated and they kind of sold it like that. But it's a noir, you know, and I
Yeah.
kind of feel like that was kind of lost on them. Because
Kids
they're
don't
like,
know what a
ooh,
noir-
cartoons, but they didn't really understand that that's
Detective
what that
movie,
was
man.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like a noir parody, but like with cartoons. And there was a lot of stuff in there that, like I said, was not really.
Speaking of noir, if you haven't seen the series Spider Noir, you should see it. We fucking saw it. It was great.
Who censored Roger Rabbit? That's right. That's
Yeah.
what it was. Thank you.
What was
Thank you, Ramon B.
But yeah, Spider Noir, really good. That was on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Amazon.
Really good Spider-Man series.
We watched it in black and white.
Yeah.
Which I would advise, but they have the black and white and the color version. We'll probably watch it again in color, like at some other point, because it does look nice in color.
Nicolas Cage fucking knocks it out of the park. He does a fucking great job.
It's so good.
It's good. It's a good series.
I just love the whole. I love noir. I love neo noir. I just love that whole look. I love that whole aesthetic. And
good story.
man, they really killed it with that. I really liked that series.
We were watching that animated movie, fucking Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, right.
Which is a good movie. But they showed the Spider Noir character in black and white, and I goes, man, I want to see that movie. And
I think we even said that because we reviewed Into the Spider-Verse. Remember in the old days when we used to do the matinee show?
Yeah.
When we had the AMC A-list thing, and we would go see 3 movies a week.
Oh, I said that.
And we would review them like right when we came out of the theater. Like, and then we would kind of cobble it all together.
We do the reviews sometimes in the theater.
In the theater or in the car.
Yeah.
Like right when we'd first seen it.
Yeah.
And when we saw Into the Spider-Verse, which is fucking fantastic, we were like, man, they should make a whole fucking movie out of Spider-Noir.
Yeah,
like, I would totally watch that.
Yeah.
So they did. They made a whole series out of it.
Yeah, and I pictured it animated, but this is live action.
It's live action,
and it's
but
good.
that's
it's good too. Yeah, Nicolas Cage, and he does a good job. And it is
also
like
good.
It's like a noir detective movie.
Yeah,
it's good.
And like I said, they have both versions. You can watch it black and white or a color.
And out of the blue, it went very veterans' rights, fucking, because it ended up being that Spider-Man and all the fucking bad guys who had been mutated into superheroes were veterans that they were fucking experimenting on. World War I veterans. I thought that shit was cool. And the dude that played Electro, he knocked it out of the park too.
Oh, yeah.
He did a really good job.
It was just a really good series. I really dug it.
And they didn't call him by Electro. They didn't call him, they called him other names that were kind of like that. But you go, okay, yeah, that's Electro. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
What else they called him? What do you remember what they called him?
No.
The Electric something or other, or Lightning Man, or Lightning Boy, or some shit like
Lightning
that.
Man, that's that Nitzer episode.
But he was a war veteran. They'd been experimenting on him in a fucking some kind of German camp, and he could steal an electric charge and throw it back out. And then he became a Shakespearean actor, and he was like this overweight, kind of dumpy dude, kind of chubby, but he just was a real fierce personality, real fucking. He was like a roaring 20s gangster. He kind of had that gangster fucking Brooklyn kind of accent, you know, and the ways about him. He was kind of cruel, but he was good. And the other bad guys were kind of like more like in the middle, but that one kind of stood out. They were working for a gangster who was hiring them, and they were like, "Why are we working for him? We could just take this shit," you know. Which he was right. They could have. It was good. It's a good series.
Yeah, I really liked it. Like I said, I want to rewatch it at some point, like the color version.
Yeah.
Because I was pretty insistent as far as like, we have to watch this in black and white. I'm sorry. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And once
it's
again,
to get the whole noir experience.
And Nicolas Cage delivers.
Man, how can you not love Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, he's a very
Even
good
when
Spider-Man.
he's in shitty movies, and he's been in a lot of shitty movies,
Yeah.
but he never really phones it in.
I'm hoping they do another season of it.
I hope so too. Like, it seemed like it was a big, I don't know if it was a big hit. I don't even know how they measure that, like on streaming services, but it seemed like a lot of people were talking about it. Like, there's a lot of chatter about it.
And season 2 of fucking Fallout was great.
Oh my god, Fallout is
very
so good.
Yeah.
Fallout is so good.
Yeah.
Like, we've come such a long way from the 90s when they're like, hey, let's make a movie based on this popular video game, and they pretty much all sucked.
Yeah.
Like, with maybe like very few exceptions. But it's like, now that people actually know what they're doing, they can actually make something that's based on a video game that's actually really good. And Fallout is fucking
excellent.
Man. That series is so good.
And it's right there with
they got it exactly right.
It's just
exactly
like the game.
right.
Just like the game.
The tone of it is exactly right. Like, so you can tell that everybody that worked on this, like, played the games because they were like,
yeah, the dude
they got it exactly right.
The dude, the southern guy playing the ghoul, he fucking
Walton Goggins.
Well, yeah, Goggins, yeah.
Who is man,
he's so cool.
That's why I feel like the show was probably a big hit, because that bitch is in like every fucking commercial now. He's like Walmart spokesman now.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like every third commercial I see has Walton Goggins in it. He is everywhere. He's rad.
He's just a cool southern dude, man. There's just something about him, man. And he can play a southern character real well. He played real good cowboys and convicts. He was great in fucking The Predators. Remember that?
Yeah.
He played the fucking the death row inmate that they had in the fucking on the hunting planet. He was cool.
See, like I said, people talk about these, you know, kind of big, you know, lantern-jawed movie stars and stuff like that. I will always go to bat more for the character actors, man, because they're the ones that are actually good actors. They might not look perfect with all cap teeth and everything and plastic surgery and everything, but they're the ones that are fucking bringing it.
Yeah. Yeah, Walton Goggins.
And that's like way sexier to me than somebody that just looks like a carbon copy of every other big. That's why I was never, and like I said, even going back to the old days, I was never really into these kind of like just the A-list movie stars, because they all kind of look alike, you know what I mean? They all go to the same plastic surgeons, and they all have the same face shape, and they all kind of have the same type and everything like that. Like, character actors are much more interesting.
Well, character actors are always in there.
Yeah.
Even during the time of the silver screen, when fucking an actress looked gorgeous, and she wasn't around long because she was replaced by another one. You still had guys like W.C. Fields.
Yeah.
You still had dudes like fucking who is the dude? Fucking Peter Lorre. All right.
Yeah.
Those dudes.
And he was in a million movies, and he's great.
Look good, but boy, they fucking.
Have you ever seen M from the 30s? He played a serial killer in the 30s.
Yeah. So no. There's some people that just have certain types of charisma. They just bring it to the film, and they're just like, okay.
That's like way more interesting to me than somebody that's just like kind of conventionally attractive. Because like I said, conventionally attractive people are generally, they kind of all look alike. Because, you know,
like a mannequin type thing. But I understand what you're saying. Although I do like to see it sometimes. It depends. Okay, here.
It depends on the kind of movie you're watching.
If you look at Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Everybody in that movie that were in those armies, pretty much, all the leads were really good looking people. But that worked in that movie because that movie was supposed to be government propaganda.
Yeah.
They were idealized versions.
That's what I mean. So that was part of the theme.
That was the theme of that movie.
Of the movie. So, you know, that worked with that
These
premise.
ultra beautiful people that were real fucking strong and were fucking.
We're doing our part.
Yeah. What's that?
We're doing our part.
Yeah, we're doing our part to save humanity.
Sure.
And even like the sidekicks, who were kind of more funny looking, still were good looking people. You know, they just, you know, because you had fucking, what's his name? Fucking. Dude, we just talked about a guy who had the head injury from the motorcycle accident.
Who, Gary Busey?
Gary Busey. Yeah, his son.
Okay, yeah. Jake Busey.
Jake Busey was in it. And he's acting goofy and shit. Jake Busey's actually a good looking dude. You know, he's in good shape. So
he was also in The Frighteners.
Yeah, he's great. He's fucking great in Frighteners.
Which is a great fucking flick if you haven't seen it.
Love that movie.
Peter Jackson from 1996.
Yeah, Frighteners is
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, Frighteners is a fucking paranormal forgotten classic, and fucking very. It's not given the respect it deserves. That's a really
I
good
feel
one.
like, you know what, I've noticed recently, just from
Yeah.
well, in the last 5-10 years or so, that the horror community has really kind of embraced the Frighteners
Yeah,
in a
that's
way
a
that's
really
kind of
good
making
movie.
me happy, because I feel like people didn't really get it
It is the
at the time that it
It's
came
the
out.
Back to the Future of the fucking horror movies.
Yeah.
And it's a dark version of the Back to the Future, and it's its paranormal fucking credibility is actually like, yeah, yeah, that's paranormal shit.
Also,
It's a really good paranormal movie.
Jeffrey Combs is in it,
Jeffrey Combs is in it. Yeah.
playing a completely batshit and completely awesome character. I think I said recently, actually, I just said it on my 1986 video that I posted today because I was talking about From Beyond on there, that I will watch absolutely anything that Jeffrey Combs is in. I
Yeah.
love fucking Jeffrey Combs.
And I really liked Michael J. Fox's Frank Bannister. I thought he's a good character. He's very much kind of like Marty McFly, but a Marty McFly
Like a
that's gone
darker
wrong.
version.
It's
Like
gone,
he's
it's
hit
gone
the
wrong. He's still a
skids.
good guy, but bad shit's happened to him. And
Yeah.
he's kind of damaged. And I just thought he really brought it with that character. And it is a tentpole style horror movie.
It just didn't do as well as they were expecting, I
Right.
think, because, well, I get why in 1996 it maybe didn't fly, because it's not, it's a horror movie, but it's also it's a black comedy.
Yeah.
Black comedy is a hard sell at the best of times. And I kind of feel like, because Peter Jackson is a New Zealander, and I kind of feel like the Brits and the Australians and New Zealanders have like a better relationship with black comedy. Like, they get it more. Americans, not so much. It's like, it's a much harder. I like black comedy, but a lot of Americans don't. Like, they don't really get it. Like, either something's like outright funny or it's not funny.
Yeah.
Is something that I've noticed. But like, dark comedy is something that's and this might seem like out of left field, but here's kind of an example of what I'm talking about. If you have never seen the Spanish film The Coffee Table, which I did a long review of, that movie was classified as a black comedy. If you have seen that movie, that is one of the most stressful, horrifying movies I've ever seen ever. It's like super disturbing. And I was just kind of like, if that is a black comedy, holy crap. Like, I kind of get it. Like, it's kind of funny in like how horrible it is, like how horrible the situation is. But that's kind of one of the things that should demonstrate how Europeans and, Australians, New Zealanders, they kind of have a better relationship with black comedy. They can laugh at like super, super dark shit in a way that a lot of Americans don't really get, because even I was kind of surprised when I was like reviewing because I watched The Coffee Table, and that was one of those movies where, and I've watched horror movies all my life since I was a little kid. That movie, I couldn't even watch the whole thing in one sitting. Like, that's how much it stressed me out. Like, I had to like stop it and like walk around. You know what I mean? And then kind of go back to it later. And I'm like, man, this is bad. You know what I mean? And it really fucking got to me. But the fact that it was marketed as a black comedy, it kind of blew my mind a little bit. I was like, Spain, are you guys okay over there? Because this is awful. It's awful. Like, the whole situation is awful. And so I get why the Frighteners maybe didn't work over here the way it might have worked somewhere else.
It worked for me. I got off.
I did too. Like I said, I'm unusual in the fact I like black comedy.
I was living in Boston, got off of work, and
but a lot of Americans don't.
And I said, oh, "That's a Michael J. Fox movie," and I said, "Yeah, I'll go see a movie." And I pulled. It was when I was living in Boston, and I went in there and watched that movie. I was the only motherfucker in the theater.
Yeah,
and I loved it though. I was like, "This is
great.
This is a great movie.
It's great."
Yeah. And I saw
so great.
And I saw the theatrical release. There's a couple different edits of that. I have a Blu-ray that has 2 different edits on it, like a director's cut and a theatrical. The director cut has a few more minutes of the supporting ghosts. Frank Bannister had a bunch of friends that were ghosts. and they were making money, scaring people, and Frank would come in. And fucking, they dropped the cards there, and Frank would come in and like pretend to exercise the house, but they were his
I
friend.
hear you have a terrible ghost problem.
Yeah,
I'll fix that for you.
And during that time, I was doing a similar thing, fucking working for Electrolux, doing fucking like carpet shampooing and fucking putting in central systems and selling vacuum cleaners. So I was kind of like in my 20s doing a Frank Bannister kind of fucking job.
Not paranormal though.
Not paranormal, but direct selling in houses and stuff. And in a real nice neighborhood in outside Boston called Wellesley, Weston, Newton, and Dover. Man, I had the best shit. I made so much money, and blew it all in nightclubs and shit. And living solo, I had a nice fucking apartment and everything. It was great. But I loved the movie. I was like, this is, and you guys know me. I had experiences in the past of fucking poltergeist and weird shit, and I was going like, yeah, this is it. It's along the lines of the kind of shit that I've had seen before. I said a lot of this is kind of plausible based upon some of the readings I had read, through some other paranormal stuff. You know what I mean? I never saw a ghost, but I've seen some bad houses. I saw one real bad house that nothing happened in there. Just everybody felt like this is a fucking bad house. Poltergeist stuff, and the movie had a coherent theme, like that might be possible, that maybe a dude could come back from the dead and haunt his girlfriend and go out, and they were serial killers and they were killing people.
Yeah, he was a serial killer and then he died and then he came back.
He was a serial killer in the afterlife, fucking, and he was impersonating the fucking Grim Reaper, in spiritual form. Most people couldn't see him, but Frank could see him because he was attuned psychically because he had a near-death experience in a wreck with his wife, and he kind of a little bit got blamed for the death of his wife. He blamed himself, and then he couldn't build his fucking dream home, which I thought was a very kind of tragic, kind of sad thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on in that movie. Like, that's why I think it worked.
Yeah. And you have to watch it several times to get all the angles. Fucking Frank Bannister was a living ghost. His friends were ghosts.
That's a good way of putting it.
He was a living ghost. He wasn't living a real life.
Yeah, he was just kind of like going through the motions. Yeah. Kind of.
And his ghost friends were telling him, why don't you get out of this business? Why don't you live a life?
Yeah, like, why are you living in the past still? Or like doing this kind of shit, yeah.
And then Lee Ermey was playing a fucking Marine in the a ghost of a Marine in the cemetery, keeping all the ghosts in the cemetery, keeping them motherfuckers contained. Keeping them, get back in your graves. and he had another 89 years of fucking tour of service in the fucking grave.
So fun.
And he saw fucking Bannister walking, and only Bannister could see him. He goes, Frank Bannister, you and your little shitty emanations fucking terrorizing the people, the good people. I got a fucking piece of dirt with your name on it here. He goes, my tour of duty is another 89 years. Your ass is mine. Fucking, he's threatening him, and when you die, I got you. Fucking, it was just going, fuck, man. And then he fights the ghost of a serial killer. It's a great, and then fucking our boy shows up as fucking, what was his name?
He was the FBI agent.
Is FBI Danvers, yeah.
Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs shows up as fucking Danvers.
Looking like pretty, he has this combed like kind of Hitler-esque.
Yeah, side of his head is shaved. He's got this fucking kind of like Nazi kind of looking at. And he goes, I get all the freaky cases. And he's an FBI dude that fucking specializes in paranormal phenomena.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's fucking
He entertains the shit out of me in this movie.
Yeah, and he was on he had the Manson family case. He was one of their sex slaves and shit.
Yeah, like he's gone undercover and he's kind of messed up.
Oh, he's fucked up. Yeah, and he's the powers of the mind. I'm doing this. He thinks he's got RSPK and shit. I'm wearing a lead breastplate. He fucking attacks him. He thinks Frank is killing everybody. We're using using RSPK.
Yeah, so he's like investigating.
It's a good fucking tale. He pulls out a MAC-10, or it's a mini Uzi. It was a mini Uzi with a side folding stock on it. It's just a cool flick, man. I can watch that shit a million times. It's
like I said, it's really fun. And like I said, I feel like it's gotten a lot more appreciation nowadays. But when it came out in 1996, I think the world was not ready.
There was supposed to be a sequel to it. They were working on it, but I think probably never happened.
The world was not ready.
Yeah.
And like I said, black comedy has always been a hard sell in the United States because our sense of humor Well, generally, like I said, I'm not the same, but like American sense of humor generally is not quite as dark, I guess. So it didn't really translate as well.
Oh,
I loved it, but
the counselors only see it once. Oh no, you got to see that. And
man,
you got to
it's
look
so
at it at
good.
all angles. There's a bunch of
It's
different
so good.
stories. There's a bunch of different stories happening in there. And I got a soft spot for the Frank Bannister character. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, Michael J. Fox is
does a good job.
really
Yeah.
well. He's really trading on his persona that like everybody knows, and everybody knows him from Family Ties and shit like that, and Back to the Future. So he's kind of trading on that, but it's like a darker, seedier version of that, and I think he sells that like really well. Like this is what that character would be like if he'd fallen on hard times, and like he's still really sympathetic, but it's still really, I don't know, it's just like really well done. I don't know, I really like it. Tom Baker says, never heard of the coffee table. Oh my god. So I did a long ass review of this and I did a video of it. I don't want to spoil anything. It's not super old. I think it only came out, when did it come out? Only like 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. And I watched it because all of a sudden, maybe it came out in 2022. I don't remember. But like I suddenly saw like all these people like on all these horror channels I watch and stuff like that, like talking about it. And it's Spanish, it's set in Spain. And I was like, people were talking about, man, this was like fucking disturbing and shit like that. And I was like, okay, well, I got to see that because I'm a glutton for punishment. You know what I mean? So it's like if everybody talks about how fucked up or disturbing a movie is, I'm like, well, okay, well, I got to watch that then, see what's going on. So I watched it. And like I said, I've watched horror movies my whole life. And I don't usually, they do affect me. I'm not a sociopath. But this one, I couldn't sit through it. And, I'm not saying this because I kind of feel like when you say shit like that, like some other people can be like, well, it didn't bother me at all. You know what I mean? It's going to be like that. But it's like, just for me personally, this movie, I couldn't sit through it in one sitting. Like I was watching it, I think it was like a Saturday afternoon or something. And like I'm just like, "Oh, I'm going to watch it today." And I was just like, "Oh, okay. I didn't know it was going to ruin my whole ass mood, but okay." So I watched the movie and I think I watched it for like 20, 30 minutes. I'm like, I can't. I got to stop.
Which movie is this?
The Coffee Table. I was like, I gotta stop. I can't. And I think I even like walked down the hall and I think I told him, it's like, dude, I'm watching this horror movie and I can't even sit through like I can't even sit through it right now. Like I have to kind of like walk around for a little bit. Just because it's not gory, it's not violent, it's hard to explain. It's just kind of like the situation, and like I said, I don't want to spoil it. The situation that happens in it, which is something that could really happen, is so disturbing, and the subsequent shit that happens after it is just like so upsetting and stressful that you're just like the whole time you're just like super super tense. And like when the movie ended and and all the tension was released because it was kind of resolved, I was just kind of like, I didn't realize that I was just like clenching the whole time, and I was just kind of like, look, like that, and I was just like, what, that was fucked up. So I don't think I would ever watch it again because it wasn't a really pleasant experience. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the acting in it is impeccable.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd ever watch it again though. Holy crap.
The count says he's gonna put Frighteners back on the list to see it again. You'll enjoy it, man. Just take your time. The longer edits version of it is pretty good. Both edits are good, but every character in that's tight, and it's a very tight story. You got to kind of look at things through different people's perspectives. Each character kind of has their own perspective. It's very, and Frank was a sad, kind of like a tragic hero, but he does come through it, and he was a hero. He one of his clients whose husband had just died, he could see the ghost of the husband, and he's fucking, you bitch, this and that. He go, oh, I lost her mind. It's a trip, but he's kind of a ghost, the husband. Later on, he starts kind of having feelings for her. She likes him, and when Jake Busey's character, who's a dead serial killer, when he shows up, he starts killing people. Fucking Frank can see it, and he starts trying to kill this girl, this client, this woman. She's a doctor, I think, if I remember correctly. He tries to kill her, but he can't protect her because it's a ghost. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
So there's a scene where he fucking pulls out this fucking 38 special revolver and he goes, I gotta have an out-of-body experience. And he gets ready to blow his fucking head off right in front of her. And she grabs him and she says, no, I got another way. Because she's a doctor. So she fucking puts his ass in a freezer.
Let me flatliners your ass.
Yeah. But he was gonna kill himself to save her. Because, like I said, Bannister's a good character. Michael J. Fox knocks it out of the park. He's a very tragic hero, likable hero, but he's a living dead man.
Yeah, he's got problems.
After his wife died, he couldn't complete the house. He's a ghost along with his ghost buddies. He could see the ghosts. The ghosts are warning him.
Yeah.
You got to stop this, Frank. This shit like that. Because he's gonna die if he doesn't change his ways.
It's just really fun.
It's a good movie. Yeah.
Ramon V also points out the Frighteners also apparently came out the same time as Independence Day.
Yeah, which knocked it out of the water. That would have blown it out of the water, yeah.
Gonna say, like, Independence Day...
Oh, it just took over everything.
Yeah, that was a massive, massive hit. I liked it, kinda, at the time, but like I said, it's not really my kind of movie. I don't really like those big spectacle kind of movies.
It's like E.T. came out and fucked up the thing.
Yeah, that was the same kind of thing that happened. And, like, The Sixth Sense came out and fucked up Stir of Echoes.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. It just kind of like when the big Hollywood movie comes out, Independence Day is not a bad movie. It's just that it's a big crowd-pleasing movie. So if something comes out at the same time, it's just going to get lost in the shadow. I watched Independence Day again probably a couple years ago, and it's like, it's okay. It's not really... I didn't find it all that memorable. Like, it's enjoyable while you're watching it, but it doesn't really stick with you. You know what I mean?
Somebody new here said, Brittany says, hello, Tom and Jen, love your show. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Welcome to you. We haven't seen you here on a live stream. Good to see you on a live stream. Yeah, fucking the couch talking about that he got that he watched The Hand on my recommendation, and he got that under his Christmas tree. Yeah, The Hand is
Blu-ray.
The Hand is a good one too, man.
I'm always going to go to bat for The Hand. The Hand is one that I saw when I was a kid, and it traumatized the fuck out of me because I've always, ever since I was a child, one of the things that always traumatized me in movies was like dismemberment.
Yeah.
People getting decapitated. Remember that scene in The Omen where David Warner gets his head cut off with the pane of glass? Oh, that fucked me up I saw that movie when I was too young to see it. I was probably like 6 or 7. And that fucked me up for many years. Because I don't like...
It's good for you. It's good for you.
Well, no, I mean, I turned out okay. I'm not a serial killer or anything like that.
It's good that kids know the risk.
Yeah. And honestly, I will say, I don't condone...
Give you a sense of danger.
I don't condone traumatizing your children. But I will say, just from my own personal experience, and I know that everyone's not like me, but when I was little, I loved scary shit.
Yeah.
And like I would watch it and it would give me nightmares and I'd like be worried about it and shit like that. But I kept going back to it regardless.
Well, it's good for you because you know that it's training you to understand that there are repercussions for what you do.
And honestly, I will say that I think that that's one of the best things about horror movies.
Yeah.
Is that it kind of like
give you a sense of self-preservation.
Well, you get to like practice for these horrifying situations, which will likely probably never happen to you, maybe, but you don't know.
But you could imagine
that something like that could happen, and like, what would I do in that situation? It like helps your imagination, right?
I remember in 1977, sitting in the theater, watching Star Wars for the first time with a bunch of adults. I was 8 years old, and I'm loving this movie. And when it got to the fucking scene where Uncle and Owen and Aunt Owen were sitting on the ground.
They got like burnt
to crisp. I was like, as a kid,
that's pretty fucked up.
I instantly went, "Oh, this is a serious movie.
This is a grown-up movie. Yeah,
you can get killed in this movie. Okay, this is real.
Yeah,
And that's what kids have to see, that, yeah, there are repercussions. All right, this isn't a fantasy. In Star Wars, you could get killed if the bad guys
And in a
actually
really
kill
horrible
you.
way.
So I respected the movie now.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah. And then when I saw Han Solo blast Greedo, I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
People get killed in this.
Yeah.
You know. And this isn't the kids' movie. So
Yeah.
I'm telling myself, this isn't a kids' movie, this is an adult movie. So I'm taking it seriously now.
Like I said, I'm not.
And that's how you sell to kids. And Lucas didn't actually know that. He liked goofy shit. That's not how you get kids' attention.
Well, didn't his wife do that edit?
Yeah, his wife did that edit and saved it.
She doesn't really get enough
New
credit.
Hope was saved and edit by the wife. He would have all kinds of goofy. Well, we gotta put it in there for the kids. That's not. Kids don't like that as much as you think they do. They like.
Well, I didn't.
We like the more serious shit.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, I'm watching an adult movie.
Scary shit.
Yeah, it's an adult movie I can understand. Yeah.
Kids like scary shit, or at least I did.
Yeah,
and most of the kids I knew did.
Well, all kids understood that. Okay, when they showed you a dead body, somebody kills somebody. Then the movie now has gravitas.
Yeah, like, oh, there's stakes.
Yeah, there's stakes to this story.
Exactly. So you understand. Like, you're not that young. You know what I mean? I'm not advocating showing, like, fucking Terrifier to a 5-year-old. Don't do that. But it's just kind of like...
It has to be a story.
It's got to be age appropriate. But...
Can deal with, and that people get killed in it.
Sure.
Like Bambi would not have been a heart-touching story if Bambi's mother had not been killed.
Exactly.
And little kids, I can remember I'd be all sad that Bambi's mama got killed.
Yeah. But, oh my God, your mom can die.
Yeah, but that's what, there were stakes to the movie, and that's what made you bond with Bambi.
Yeah. Yeah, I would argue that it's like I said, you can't like traumatize like children, but some of that is good.
Also, when I was a kid, there was another animated movie called Watership Down.
Oh.
And when the rabbits were talking
about
the
book too,
yeah, when the rabbits were talking about how they got trapped in the Warrens and they were all fucking dying, and they showed all the rabbits trying to dig their way out, and their fucking blood coming out of their noses and shit.
I know.
I was like going, oh. Man, this is
that stressed me.
But what it is it invests you more into the story.
Yeah.
As a kid, then you love the story even more. Watership Down's a great movie.
Well, because like I said,
should be shown that
there are stakes.
It's realistic.
It's realistic.
Yeah.
You understand that people can die just like they can in real life.
Yeah.
You don't have to show it in like a gratuitous way or anything like that. You just have to show it in a realistic way.
Yeah.
Like I said, you don't have to traumatize children on purpose. But I mean,
the danger's real.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the children's entertainment that came out in the 70s and 80s didn't really shy away from that, and I think that was probably a good thing.
Yeah. Well, they were trying to get. That's how
we still remember it all these years later.
And that's how you get the kids to invest in the story.
Sure.
That you can't get hurt, and that's the way life really is. And they're not going to.
Yeah, because little kids get. I mean, I hate to say, but little kids get kidnapped. They get run over by cars. They get shit happens.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it can't happen.
That's what the whole thing about Grimm fairy tales all were.
Yeah.
In the Middle Ages, is to warn kids. Hey, don't
bad
go
shit
down
could happen to you.
Don't talk to those dudes that live underneath the bridge. You better watch out for these old women living out in these goddamn fucking... They might eat you. Because there was cannibalism going on.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't something they made up. People on the fucking outskirts of society, they didn't have welfare. A lot of people were starving. And yeah, I'm sure there would be some fucking old senile old ladies living in fucking shacks on the edge of the fucking civilization that might eat a kid. Yeah.
It could happen.
That could happen.
Bridget says, shit, I watched Candyman as a kid. Okay, so I was already...
Candyman was good.
I mean, I love Candyman. That's one of my favorite Clive Barker movies for sure. I was already an adult when Candyman came out. That came out when I was 20. Because it came out in 92. Yeah, so yeah, I was 20 years old. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I was already... But like I said, so a lot of the stuff that I saw when I was a child was stuff from the 70s and like very early 80s. I think the first, and this is, people are going to laugh that have seen this movie, but I think the first movie that I saw that like scared me was a movie that came out in, I think it was the early 70s at some point. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. It was a zombie movie, pretty much. And it was like very, very low budget. And for some reason, I saw that movie when I was very little. I was maybe only 5 or 6 years old. I don't remember how I saw it. My parents were not they knew I liked scary shit, so they weren't concerned about it. So I saw a lot of stuff like on late night TV that I probably shouldn't have been watching.
Yeah, Military 100. The entire Omen series is great.
I like all of them.
I like all of them.
I mean, the first one's the best one,
And yeah,
but they're all good. They're all worth watching.
Remember, I was saying that Christian horror is possible. Christians can't make it, but secular people can make it.
That's kind of the that's kind of the caveat there.
Yeah, that's the Omen series is a great example of
because,
that.
like we've said before, I would argue that The Exorcist is Christian horror, and that is one of the best horror movies ever made.
Yeah, and Frailty, that was made by a Christian. But that was made by, fucking a dude who knew what he was doing.
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton,
who also starred in it and directed.
From Aliens, yeah. Come get some, yeah. We're fucked, dude. Well, yeah, he could directed a really good Christian horror movie called Frailty. If you haven't seen it, you gotta see it.
Please see Frailty if you haven't seen it.
And it's no special effects, all acting and all storytelling. He plays a dude. And he and his 2 young sons are like little kids. He's going out abducting people. Can't you see that that's a demon? And he's killing.
And they're just like, no,
he's
really
killing
don't
them.
see that, bro.
Like, no, that was a demon, and you think he's crazy.
But spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. It's demons.
They are
demons. He can see it.
He's right.
Yeah, and the apocalypse is coming. And they were forming an army.
Like I said, it can be done.
It can be done. You just know how to do it.
It's just very rare.
The Jews can do it. With the Old Testament stuff, they would make a good Jewish movie. Fucking Noah.
Well, look at Darren Aronofsky. And Mother.
Yeah.
Which you haven't seen. I've seen it.
Yeah, but Christians.
You should see Mother. I think you would like it.
Christians need work on making movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
They need. They don't know how to do it right.
They have. I don't know if you guys know, but Christian media, they have their own separate media. They even have their own separate Netflix, which is called PureFlix. And I only know that because I'm subscribed to a channel called God Awful Movies, which is 3 very, very funny atheists reviewing Christian movies and TV shows.
No, it's just gonna be boring.
And I also have a subscription to a guy on YouTube, Nick DeRamio, who is this flaming gay dude, and he reviews really shitty Christian movies and also like shitty like Lifetime romance movies, and it's equally, he is one of the funniest dudes on YouTube. Seriously, he is fucking hilarious. But yeah, so he has a subscription to PureFlix, and he like watches these fucking movies. Like, God bless him. Like, I don't believe in God, but you know what I mean. It's just kind of like he's doing the Lord's work, I guess.
The best recent Christian movie I've seen was Heretic. And I would call that a Christian horror movie.
Well,
it was very good. Although you could interpret it in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call that a Christian horror movie in the sense that it's not positing that Christianity is correct. It's just kind of putting all the possibilities out there. Yeah. Like, obviously, the guy that is criticizing Christianity is a bad guy.
He's a heretic, yeah.
And the Mormon girls are good.
Yeah.
Like, they're kind of the heroes. But it's a lot more nuanced than that.
I would still call it a Christian movie. And
I guess.
The Mormons liked it. Because the Mormon characters were handled with respect. They weren't... Other characters made fun of them in the movie, but they got through some... One of them got through some shit. The other one got killed. But they were the heroines of the movie.
Yeah, they were portrayed as like very heroic and very intelligent.
Yeah, and it never really got down to explain whether or not she actually survived or not. I don't think she did. It was left open to interpretation. But he was a heretic, and they were believers. So that's still a Christian movie.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's still a Christian movie.
But the movie doesn't come down on any one side.
But a good Christian movie wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, and I think that's kind of and maybe that's what the distinction is.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of Christian media is not good.
A good Christian movie leaves it open, okay, to your interpretation. You know why? Christianity is a faith.
Yeah.
It's a faith. It is not a directive. It is not something that you would do. Like the problem with real Christian movies, like is that they have an agenda,
like Fireproof,
yeah,
or God
an
is Not
agenda.
Dead,
Right.
or movies like that.
A good Christian movie leaves it open to interpretation of
Sure.
and faith.
And I feel
That's
like super hardcore Christians that are making movies
that's not what they want.
Are not going to do that. They're trying to push an agenda. And when you're trying to push that agenda, it's not going to make a good movie.
That's because film is art. And if it's not art and you're trying to push an agenda, then it's propaganda. And propaganda doesn't work as well as art.
No.
The Nazis and the commies tried it, and their art sucked.
Yeah. Like I said, it can work to a degree, but it's never going to be... It's always going to be better. Art is better when it's left open to people's own... To whatever the person viewing it like brings to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're bringing your own experience to this person's vision.
Yeah.
And I kind of... And you're having kind of like a conversation with the artist, sort of.
In the heretic tests the girl's faith. They both had faith. One of them died. The other one, I guess, survived, but maybe she didn't.
Maybe not.
Did she go to heaven?
They don't.
Did she actually die and go to heaven, or did she die, or did she live and survive? It's up to you.
It's left ambiguous, which I like that. I like that they left it ambiguous.
Right.
That was actually one of my favorite horror movies. I want to
actually own The Heretic. I haven't bought it. It's a great movie.
I did over on my Scare Salon channel. I did my top 20 horror movies of 2024, and that was number 3.
Yeah.
Behind Late Night with the Devil and The Substance.
Yeah. Heretic was a good movie.
Heretic was number 3.
Yeah, and I would call that...
That was a great fucking movie. I would
call it a Christian horror movie on par with The Exorcist.
And honestly, we saw Heretic in the theater, and after it was over, I said, this is going to be one of the best horror movies of the year.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if it wasn't.
I was
like, yes.
Yeah.
It was my 3rd favorite.
Yeah.
And like, it was hard to pick. Because like I said...
Did everybody else say, though?
The 3 that I picked were so different. Like I said, my 3 favorite ones from 2024, which I talked about on my video. My first favorite was Late Night with the Devil, which I fucking love. I love that movie. The Substance was my 2nd favorite, which almost edged into the first, because The Substance is fucking fantastic if you haven't seen it. But Heretic was up there too, like number 3. And it's just those 3, it was just kind of like just literal like tiny little points like in between those 3. Because they're completely different movies.
Guy jumped in. He says, "Frailty is a great movie, a masterpiece." Yeah,
it is.
I haven't seen it in a long time. I want to see it again. And then
it's so good.
And
Bridget jumped in
and said your boobs are looking good. Yeah,
well, thank you.
And Jensen getting in really good shape. Yeah.
Well, like I said, we're both taking GLP-1 like everyone else is.
Yeah. We're
working out, taking other things, hormones, all that other kind of stuff. I will say, like I said, the GLP-1, it does work. It kind of makes me feel like throwing up all the time, but it's just like I've lost like 28 pounds on it so far. So far. I don't really want to lose much more on it though. I don't want to go crazy with it. I don't want to look like Kelly Osbourne or anything, because
Kelly was cute as a chubby girl.
Well, when I saw her recently, like, look, I have a chubby face and I don't love it. So I get it.
Yeah.
But I saw her recently with her mom, Sharon, and I didn't recognize her.
Yeah.
She looks like a completely different person, and she looks like she has an eating disorder. And I was just kind of like, look, I'm not going to body shame. Like, look whatever, like, it's not my body. Okay, do whatever you want with it. But, man, I didn't recognize her at first. And I was just kind of like, ee. So we're on the same shit. And I was just kind of like, well, I don't want to go crazy with it like that. Like I said, I'm happy that I've lost like 28 pounds on it. But I was like, more than 10, 15 pounds more. Like, even if I don't lose any more weight, that's fine. I'm happy like the way I am right now. I was like, if I lose another 10 pounds, cool. But I don't really want to lose any more than that. You know what I mean? It's just because I think I've talked about it before, but it's like, I don't know if you guys know, but many years ago, before me and Tom really got together, I was up to, how much did I weigh? Probably 210, 220, something like that. So I was like pretty heavy. And I decided, I was just kind of like, you know what, fuck this. I'm just gonna fucking starve. Because I'd been exercising and it wasn't really doing anything, and I'd been like watching calories and it wasn't really doing anything. I said, you know what, I'm just gonna like fucking starve essentially and see if that works. So, I mean, I ate for 5-6 months, but not much. It was just like a tiny, tiny amount. It was like black coffee, toast, and that was like pretty much it. And I did that for like 5 months, and I lost about almost 100 pounds. It was kind of miserable, but I got used to it. You know what I mean? You get used to not eating all that much. And I got down to, I think my lowest was like 118 pounds, which is like the lightest I've ever been since I was a child, probably. And I looked a little bit sick, but a lot of people did start to notice, like, wow, you look really good. You've lost all this weight, blah, blah, blah. And then me and Tom got together, and he's just like, man, you're too skinny. You need to like, and I was like, yeah, I get that. I was like starving for a long time. And I also started having heart problems, heart palpitations and things like that, because I had lost so much weight in such a short amount of time. So over the years, we've started kind of getting more into, I don't know, like mitigation. Like we're just kind of, I mean, we're both older now. Like we're both in our 50s. Like I'm postmenopausal. We're both on hormones. And, you know, just kind of working out, doing weight training, stuff like that, which is a big help. But I kind of feel like my ideal is somewhere around 135, which I'm getting there.
Not anymore. You put on
Well, like I said, 135 was my ideal before I started working out and before I got a boob job also.
Yeah, right. Your ideal is probably more like 145.
Which is not that far off.
Yeah. You just have to see what you
That's
look like.
maybe like another 7 pounds from where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So,
because you've gained muscle weight since then, so you're not 135. You'd probably, well, it depends. You know, I mean, as long as you retained the muscle, and then you went down to 135, you'd look pretty shredded, probably. Okay, we'll split this because look, it's getting late.
Okay.
And maybe I'll make us something to eat or something.
All right.
I got more of that curry.
Okay, but like maybe like a tiny
bit. If not, I can do eggs. I do egg sandwich.
I don't know. Let me think about it. Okay. Like that. Well, yeah, that might be better.
Egg sandwich with cheese.
You guys, like, he made this curry.
Yeah.
Like with chicken, curry. And it was like
pumpkin curry. Yeah. Oh, it's good.
We had some earlier, like an hour or two before the show.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
I got a lot of it.
That's okay.
Okay. But I got that nice dark wheat bread.
Yeah.
And I can do like a couple of eggs and some cheese on.
Because earlier, like for lunch today, he made like a kind of Reuben-esque. He made like some French toast.
Yeah.
And like some turkey and ham and like put a little bit of jam on there.
It was actually a
what do you call it? A
Monte Cristo sandwich, but instead of dipping the whole thing, I just made French toast and made a.
Well, that's easier to do.
Swiss cheese, ham, and turkey sandwich with flicking. I didn't have any black currant jelly, so I just used strawberry jelly. It was just good, man. Not strawberry, grape jelly. I didn't put any powdered sugar on it or anything like that, but just made, and man, that shit was good. Real good. What they saying?
I mean, everything you make is good.
Yeah.
Camp Guy said, I just stopped eating. I'm down to 208 from 238. I want to get down below 200. I mean, honestly, this is kind of the shitty thing. And I don't know if this is just probably my genetics. It doesn't help. But the only way I've ever been able to lose any significant amount of weight is by not eating. And it's like, I know you need to eat, but the only way I've been able to lose weight, exercising doesn't work, to lose weight at least. The only thing that works is just severe calorie restriction.
Yeah.
And it has to be pretty severe. Like when I lost that 100 pounds, I was eating under 800 calories a day
Yeah.
because I kept track.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I'd wake up, I'd have a cup of black coffee. I'd have like a piece of wheat toast with that spray butter on it, not even real butter. And it's then like later I would maybe make an egg.
Yeah.
And that was all I ate.
They're very unhealthy. Yeah.
But it worked
Yeah.
in the sense that I lost like a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
But like I said, it also, my heart had no idea what was going on. It's like,
Because you lost all that
yeah.
weight.
And I had to go to the cardiologist. Like they put me on, you know how they, I don't know if you guys have been through this, but like they put you on the table and they turn you like all these different angles and stuff because they want to see if you pass out.
Yeah. What's up, SideQuest? You're jumping in late, SideQuest. We're getting ready to shut it down here in a bit.
We'll be all right.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's Friday night.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm going to get something to eat.
I know, but, you know. So they did that because I was having problems where I had to wear a heart monitor for a week or two. You remember that? Yeah. I think I have some pictures of it.
They're just trying to make money on you.
Well, no,
they
because...
knew what it was. They knew what it was.
They
People
were
that lose that much weight quickly have that problem.
Well, they were concerned at first because they thought that there was some kind of blockage or something because there's just like, look, your heart rate, which it still is now, they're like, it's not a consistent thump, thump, thump. It's just kind of like when you breathe in, it goes thump, 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 thump. It goes like that. They're like, and that's kind of weird. Like, don't get alarmed about it, but it's just kind of like, it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, so that's what your heart does. And it got exponentially worse, like after I lost 100 pounds because in like within, it was 4 or 5 months. Right. And my body was just like not prepared.
It's so funny when she was like 100 pounds heavier, you would think she'd be like obese looking. No, she held it well. It was just distributed fucking all over her body.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think I looked like a fatso. It was just I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I thought I looked chubby.
Yeah, she held it.
But the thing about it, when I gain weight, it tends to go to places like all over. Yeah. So it's not like I look super fat.
She was married back then. I knew her.
Yeah.
When she was like that, and she was cute. She was cute.
Yeah.
You know, fucking. Now, she got divorced and then lost 100 pounds, and fucking I saw her and I was like, whoa, and a lot of people didn't recognize her. I knew who she was, but a lot of people thought she was new.
Yeah.
To the club.
Now I've been going there for years. I had to explain to
her, says, no, you don't know who this is, do you? And they're like, no, she's not new. She just lost a lot of weight. You didn't recognize her. Fucking, and then sometimes they put it together. Oh, I remember you.
Yeah.
But that was right after all that happened. That was when me and Jen were just starting to first hang out.
Yeah, when I first like met you.
Yeah, that was when I first met you. Yeah.
Because I was kind of like still chubby. I wouldn't necessarily have called myself fat at that time, but I was like chubby.
You were 200 pounds.
Like I said, I was more than 200 pounds.
220 maybe?
Well, like I said, yeah, I think I was about 220.
Yeah, she's 5'3", 220.
I'm 5'3".
And she
but the weight tends to distribute all over.
Yeah, it was weird.
So thick. I don't look like So I just look like kind of more thick than just like a super fat person.
Yeah,
you know
she didn't look like a fat girl. But then she fucking started looking like basically a skinny goth chick.
Because after a while I was just like, fuck this. I'm just like gonna not eat and see what happens. And like I said, it did work. Yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't advise it. It wasn't the best way to go about it. But I was just like kind of...
She was sick of it though. She went...
Yeah, I don't have a lot of patience, as you know. And it's just like, so I was just kind of like, well, I'm just going to see what happens. I'm just going to stop eating for a little while. And I didn't stop eating entirely. It's just that I stopped eating, you know, I ate like I said, about less than 800 calories a day.
Okay, look, I'm going to start making us something to eat.
All right.
I'm starving.
Tom's obviously
I'm starving, yeah.
I don't know how can you be so hungry?
I don't know. I'm hungry. Okay. I'm going to get an egg sandwich.
Okay.
All
right. So I guess we're going to wrap it up for this evening because Tom's getting fussy.
I got to get fussy.
He's going to get fussy. All right. Yeah. So we're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for hanging out with us this evening. Super fun discussion. Whenever we talk about horror movies all night, I get like that's my favorite thing. Like I said, I have recorded 2 other movie reviews, one of which was for Hokum, the Damian McCarthy movie from 2026, and I also did one for The Picks from 1973 with Karen Black. So those will be coming up. I'll probably put Hokum up on Sunday, I feel like, and then the Picks I'll probably put up like next week sometime. So if you're into my horror reviews, then watch out for those. So yeah, it's been a really good time this evening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. We're gonna go out to tomorrow night dancing, and we'll see how that goes. And we'll be here tomorrow, not tomorrow night, but Monday night for the movie review. Okay, so I don't think Granthers was here tonight, but he gave us money to do the Coen brothers version of True Grit. So that might be the movie we do Monday, unless we think of something else. I'm not really sure because I was, he paid, so it's like I kind of feel like we should probably do that. Although we have done a lot of Granthers movies in the past, but he is giving us money, so you know what I mean. So it might be True Grit. We'll see how that goes. All right, so hopefully you guys have a good rest of your evening. Have a good weekend. Be safe out there. And we will see you again on Monday night for the movie review. Good night.